Hello, welcome to the Football Social with Sky Bet. Interesting show today because we've got 3 live games to bring you. So first up, let's meet who's on the show. Starting to my right, we've got a very happy Arsenal man. They've not even started yet. It is Dave Jackson. Dave, how are you?
I'm very well. I had a fantastic day yesterday. Just a fantastic day yesterday. It was beautiful yesterday. Fantastic day of football. Yeah,
okay.
Beautiful.
And of course, remind us what game you're watching.
I'm watching Arsenal against Bournemouth, coming live from the Emirates Stadium.
Okay. Alongside you, James Wayne, first appearance on this season.
Yeah, this season, yeah.
Been back last season. You are wearing your beloved Man City shirt. I think it's going pretty well for City, as they always seem to do. You're watching them today.
Yeah, no complaints this season. But, I mean, Wolves, tough, so we'll see.
Tough game, you think?
Yeah, well, maybe not this season, but historically they've been good against the top 6. So
best record against the top 6 last season, Wolves. Probably why they finished 7th, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
To be honest.
I mean, this season's a bit different, but we'll see.
Okay. Back as well. First appearance this season, good friend of mine, Tubes. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Tubes, you're watching Chelsea travelling Southampton. How do you see that one going?
Chelsea are going to win that, I think. I think they're going to win 2-1, and I'm loving Chelsea this season. I love the youngsters, love Super Frank, love Jody. I'm buzzing about the whole thing.
I've seen you tweet a lot. You're very happy, even though Chelsea good going forward, conceded a lot of goals, but you're very optimistic because of Lampard, Jody Morris, a lot of young English talent coming through. You're very optimistic about Chelsea.
Absolutely. I think the club just needed rebuilding, and Super Frank's the perfect guy to do that, and that's what he's doing. And you know, the atmosphere at Chelsea now is like it used to be when I first went. Like everyone's behind the team. We're not going to win the league, but with that team, we can do in 2 or 3 years' time. All the youngsters.
Okay, there we go. It's very positive. And of course, we've got Doogie on social. There we go. Round of applause.
Thanks, guys.
Good round of applause. I feel like Doogie's got the best round of applause of anyone.
Yeah,
Doogie, just remind the viewers how they can get in touch with the show.
Yeah, so make sure you get your questions into Soccer AM and Football Daily YouTube channel, the stream. Get them in the comment section, and I will ask the best of them to our wonderful panellists.
Yes.
Okay, James, you start talking about Man City. Liverpool winning again.
Yeah, I know.
Is this the year you're feeling it? You think that Liverpool could pick you to the title?
I mean, there's that obvious thing of saying, you've got to focus on yourself. You've got to focus. But Liverpool, I mean, 8 wins out of 8. They don't look like they're going to lose any time soon. They've been fortunate in some of the things. I mean, the Sheffield United, about to say Wednesday, then Sheffield United game kind of comes to mind in a bit of luck. But we had that when we were first kind of coming into the title challenges. We had that with United when they were eking out these 1-0 wins, and they were still, winning when games they kind of don't deserve to. But, we've got to focus on ourselves, make sure we're doing the right things, because we were challenging on all 4 fronts before, and, you can't kind of challenge for these things without a rival. So
Aguero back today as well. I mean, the thing is, whenever I look at a Man City team, you look at the players that are in and out, they've just got so much depth to choose from. But
it's hard to complain as a City fan about anything really, because we're so lucky in what we've actually got at the club. So I mean, the depth that we have, the fact that Phil Foden is for any other team in the league would be one of their star players, and the fact that he's kind of, we've had reports of he's unsettled. I don't think he is personally. I think he wants to be at the club. He understands that David Silva is leaving at the end of the season. This is his time to step forward. Sure. But it's just ridiculous, our squad. From top to bottom, we're just so lucky to have everyone.
David, let's concentrate on Arsenal. Pepe, big talking point, Pepe.
Yes.
How do you think he started Premier League? He only scored 1 goal from the penalty spot.
I don't
assess how he started his
Well, I think the
Arsenal
thing is,
career.
whenever you come in on such a kind of heavy kind of price tag, there's always going to be a little bit of extra expectation. I thought he did okay against United. To be honest, like today, I don't kind of want him. Well, I would absolutely love him to score, but I want him to just have a good game today. Then we can kind of build on that after the international break. But I'm actually more excited to see that he's kind of kept his faith in Saka. I thought he was arguably Arsenal's best player against United.
A lot of young talent at Arsenal, isn't
good.
It's
Nice.
They've got a great youth.
Yeah,
they've got a great system, haven't they?
and they
Who
kind
are you
of
most
seem
excited about of all those players?
Joe Willock.
Joe Willock.
Really? Over Saka?
I think he's a wicked player. I mean, I like how, particularly actually in the game against Chelsea last season, like in the Europa League, I know he actually came on and you could see a little bit. This actually meant a lot to him, right? Like actually wearing the shirt, and the thing I love about him as well, he's always showing for the ball. Even when we're kind of away at when we're away at kind of like an Anfield, he still wants the football, wants to try and take the team actually forward. So for me, it's Joe Willock. So,
Tubes, Chelsea, you said earlier you're not going to win the league. I think we know that there's a big gap now between the top 2 and the rest. Where do you look at Chelsea's realistically this season? Because Spurs are struggling.
Well, I was going to say, with all
Man United are struggling.
With all the teams around us, At the start of the season, I said I'd be happy with top 6. But the way the youngsters have gelled already, I could say we can get top 4.
Top 4?
Yeah, I just think it's brilliant. Callum Hudson-Odoi, he's back.
What a player.
He's back. He's starting today. We've got Loftus-Cheek to come back.
Yeah, these are the scenes we can bring you actually from St Mary's Tubes. Chelsea, moments away from kick-off. Don't forget, all 3 of our games kick off at exactly the same time. Chelsea at St Mary's, of course. Southampton make 2 changes, interestingly, to the team that lost 2-1 at Tottenham last weekend. Jan Valery and Shane Long come into the side with Sofiane Boufal dropping to the bench. Centre-back Yannick Vestergaard misses out altogether. Chelsea Team News Tubes, want to get your thoughts on this. 3 changes from the Premier League home win versus Brighton last weekend. Zuma, Kante and Hudson-Odoi replaced Christensen, Barkley and Pedro. So similar to Chelsea, obviously not the same strength and depth that Man City have, but you have got a lot of options going forward this season, it seems.
Going forward, but the one I'm surprised about, I thought Reece James would have started today.
You started him, yeah.
Yeah, because I know Jody and Frank absolutely love Reece James, and I think a couple of months' time, everyone's going to be going, "Oh my God, this guy is superb."
Good.
He's brilliant. He's so good. I thought he'd start instead of Dave as Belaqueta.
Really? Wow.
So, yeah, I did.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
Teams
But I was wrong.
Arsenal. He was wrong. Teams also out at the Emirates, Dave. Your beloved Arsenal. Arsenal versus Bournemouth. Arsenal making 1 change to the side that drew at Man United in their last Premier League game on Monday. Danny Ceballos coming in for Lucas Torreira, who drops to the bench. So these are the scenes, live scenes right now. Thoughts on that?
Well, I think this is probably a good game for Danny Ceballos. We're playing at home. It's a little bit more difficult when you're playing away. So the fact that, as I say, we are kind of playing at home. But to be honest, I would have played Torreira over Granit Xhaka. But, he's now the captain. So I guess if he's your captain, he's going to have to start, isn't he? So,
What do you make of that?
as I say, I don't necessarily think he's one of our best 3 midfielders, so I don't really understand it, to be honest.
So you don't agree with
It
him?
was voted by
Dave, you said you wouldn't have him in your starting lineup, would you?
Well, I think
On the
if everyone's fit, it'd be Guendouzi, probably Ceballos and Lucas Torreira. So then
And you still want Rob Holding as your captain?
I do want Rob Holding as captain because he's young. He's got the next 10, 12 years ahead of him. Hopefully at the club, if he carries on progressing the way that I believe he
because he's one of the only players in that lineup that's bound to play.
I'm very cautious about us just giving our best player the captaincy because every time we've done that over the last 15 years, we end up selling that player at the end of the season. Cesc, Henry,
I also think as well,
Van Persie,
if he's playing so well, don't give him the pressure of the captaincy. It's like the England cricket situation. Whoever becomes England cricket captain, there's something like their form then dips because of the extra pressure. Just let him play. He's on absolute fire. Interestingly, Bournemouth unchanged from the side that drew against West Ham last time out. Philip Binney makes his 100th English career appearance today. We can bring you scenes from our third and final game. Don't forget, all games kicking off at the same time. James, it's come to you. Man City against Wolves. 3 changes from Man City's Premier League winner Everton last weekend. Cancelo, David Silva and Sergio Aguero in for Zinchenko, De Bruyne and Jesus. You're just going off what I was saying earlier. The options you've got. It's a joke, mate.
I said it was stupid. It's still stupid. I can understand. The only one that's kind of slightly surprising is Cancelo. But if you know Cancelo, it's not that surprising, the fact that he can play both sides, both fullback positions, and Zinchenko. I mean, it's hard to criticise Zinchenko because he is, he's come up as an attacking midfielder and he's been phenomenal playing that left-back role. So I can't really criticise him too much, but it's been a slightly bit, wobbly, and we knew when we signed him he can cover that side. So this is a normal team.
Interesting, Wolves make 3 changes from their win against Watford last weekend. Ruben Neves, Ruben Vinagre and Patrick Catroni all return to the starting lineup. So that is your team news for the 3 games. We are moments away before kick-off. Let's have a look at the Sky Bet team odds. We've all clubbed together and given you some of our thoughts, what we think might unfold. James Wayne, Bolly, to score the first goal and City to win 4-1. 951.
Gone for it. Absolutely gone for it. It's the fact that we're not very good at defending set pieces. He's phenomenal at set pieces, and why not?
OK, Dave's gone Aubameyang first goal and 3-1 Arsenal, 20-1. Tubes has gone Mount anytime goal scorer in Chelsea to win. You get 13-5 with that. I've gone for Arsenal, Chelsea and Man City all to win. Don't forget, you must be 18 plus. Full terms and conditions apply. All odds are live and subject to change. Please gamble responsibly. James Wayne, let's go to Social Corner. As our game's kicked off, let's take the first question from the stream.
Yeah, first question is from It's Raining Men, and it's about yesterday's game between Liverpool and Leicester. So they want to know James Wayne's opinion on the penalty given to Mane and whether that's just a sign of things going Liverpool's way this season.
Yeah, I actually thought it was a penalty.
Did you?
It was soft, wasn't it?
No, but when you look at it in the replays that have gone around Twitter, the slow-mo doesn't make it look good at all. But what I think actually happened is, I think it was all Brighton. His knee goes into the hip of Mane. So I was like, that's fair. In terms of them getting last, it happens. If you're an attacking team, if it happened to City, I'd be happy. So.
It's one of them as well. When it goes to VAR, that they're not likely to overturn it because it's
has to be a clear and obvious error.
It could be given. It couldn't. We'll carry on with that chat in a minute. Tubes, first real attack of the day.
After about 12 seconds.
What happened?
Nathan Redmond, about 20 yards out, absolute bullet, just over the bar. Saints have started well, to be fair.
First minute, first chance for Chelsea. Let's go back to Doogie. Any further questions on the stream?
Yes. It's Get Wenger Back In has asked Dave. Do you want Arsene Wenger to come back, or are you happy with Unai Emery as it stands?
I would have.
Always thinking about it.
Well, no. I'm always to the day I die. I'd be very pro Arsene Wenger. I think it's probably the right time for him to move on. Whether or not Unai is the right man to take us forward, that's a different question.
Do you think he is?
Yeah.
I think it needs to be given at least to the end of the season. So we'll kind of see how we'll kind of see where we are there. But I think he has to, at the minimum, get Champions League football on our league position alone. Forget Europa League this time. Like we need to be at least finishing within the top 4.
Can you finish top 4? Do you think?
Definitely. Like I think once
it's gettable, isn't it? This year?
100%. And I think the thing is, once we get Kieran Tierney and Hector Bellerin back fully fit, we should have some natural balance to our team again. And Arsenal on the attack. Pepe, go on, son.
Go on, David, stick with you.
Oh, I can't really see. The screen's been cut off. Guendouzi!
We will move the screen so that we can see both of them.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, Guendouzi. So a nice little free-flowing attack there from Arsenal. That's extreme. Pepe is going to come good, Adam Smith. Right?
Unai Emery is one of the nicest men I've ever met.
Oh, yeah?
He's such a lovely bloke.
That's perfect, yeah.
And he's had a really good teeth job as well.
He has.
Yeah.
Real glow up over the summer.
It's really, really good. Well done, Unai.
And the monitor has been moved for Dave, so there you go. You can see your beloved Arsenal.
I do appreciate it.
How have Arsenal started? Only a few minutes in. So
we have started okay. Chance for City.
Man City.
Who's that? Aguero?
James Wayne, talk us through that one, mate.
Really good play from Cancelo down the left, getting the ball to Sterling, cut it back. A few little fumbles from Aguero, just kind of shooting the ball into some Wolves players, but got possession again.
Another chance for us as well. Gone behind for a corner. All your team news, incidentally, is on your screen now. So there you go. That is the team news.
Saka looks a proper player.
He does, doesn't he?
The fact he's only 18, he looks a proper player, man. Yeah, I love how just adventurous he is. He just likes to try and take his man on. It's fantastic to witness.
He's very excited. Adam Smith, full name.
Brilliant.
Just going back to the Wenger thing.
Go on.
Is that even a thing? Are people even talking about Wenger coming back?
No, I think
it's more Unai, really. I think.
Why Unai? Why? What's he done wrong?
I think people were just expecting more progression. I mean, they only finished.
The season.
But 1 point ahead of last year. I think they've conceded after 5 games. They conceded the most shots in Europe's top 5 leagues.
Yeah, that was a staggering stat.
I think it was so strange. Like 90% of the last season I loved. It was just them last 5 games that they chucked it away.
Failing to beat Palace and failing to beat Brighton.
Brighton.
The race for the top 4
it was
incredible. How many points were dropped.
Yeah.
It's like Tottenham fans now saying Poch out.
That's stupid. That's the most ridiculous statement.
Let's talk about yesterday then. Let's get it done. Oh, chance! Corner in every game at that point. Let's chat about yesterday's,
Go on, David Luiz! No, it's nowhere near it.
bit of action, get it over and done with. Tottenham Brighton.
Yeah.
Our producer is a big Brighton fan. He's wearing a Brighton shirt. There he is.
10 in a week, Smithy.
Yay!
Correct. I was at the Bayern Munich game.
Was it fun?
What did you make of the game, Dave?
Which one, the Bayern game or the Brighton game?
The Brighton game.
Oh, the Brighton game. I thought Brighton were phenomenal. I thought they fully deserved to not just win.
That's a really good point, actually. A lot of the time when a big six, one of the big six lose, they often hone in on how bad or how unlike the big six they were in performance. But I think Brighton deserve a lot of credit for how well they played.
I think that they were right. It kind of helped. Yeah, they were right. It kind of helps if you've got a goal after, what was it, minute, two minute, whatever it was, right? But they pressed the ball, and the young kid up top, he looked absolutely fantastic.
Aaron Connolly.
Yeah.
He looks awesome.
Debut Premier League appearance.
Chance.
One of his,
Bammy!
Chance for Dave Jackson, big chance. It's the man that's been on fire for you. Tell us what happened.
Bammy receives the ball on the top left-hand side of the pitch, takes a touch and just has a crack. And it went on the replay. It was actually not further away than I thought it was. But it was close.
It's one of them where you see it on camera one and you think it's going to the back of the net.
Well, it wasn't actually that far away. Yeah.
But yeah, full credit to Aaron Connolly. Like one of his first appearances for Brighton was running the show. I thought Spurs just both Alderweireld and Vertonghen weren't at their best, and also, obviously you can't also underestimate the impact.
Big chance in the city game for Wolves.
Oh, what a bad shot. Who is that?
James Wayne, talk us through this.
He's no Willy Bolly, is he?
One-on-one.
Patrick Cutrone.
Cutrone should score, shouldn't he?
Well, we just absolutely gave him the ball.
chance.
Look, if you watch this back, this is horrendous.
What's the defending there?
Oh no!
Onside.
We just.
So you are all over the shop at the back.
Absolutely played him onside. Cutrone running down. Terrible shot from Cutrone, to be
atrocious.
fair. Should be doing a lot better. This should be 1-0 Wolves, to be fair.
Big chance. Great season. Last season, as we said. The team outside the top six that had more points against the top six finished 7th last season, of course, FA Cup semi-final. They are struggling this season. It should have been 1-0.
Yeah, big time. I think the Europa League's taken a lot out of them.
Yeah,
I think their squad is actually quite small. I think there's only about 22 players. And I saw this week that they're about 7,000 air miles already. But they seem to have got to grips with it slightly. Their performances in the Europa League have improved. They obviously got that crucial win against Watford last weekend. I'm not ruling a shock out of this game, actually.
Yeah, and Bolly did score midweek as well, although we laughed at the game. He did score. Lovely little finish that, wasn't it?
Yeah, took it really nicely. The fact the ball stopped right at his feet, I was quite impressed from a centre-back doing something.
But looking at that, defensively, there's a lot of talk about Man City defensively. You've got injuries, of course.
Yeah, two huge injuries. It's not.
Didn't replace Vincent Kompany as well.
Yeah.
Is that a concern for you this season?
We should.
If there's any concern.
My initial thought was the fact that we've got two very good youngsters that we're kind of holding back on in Garcia and Harwood Bellis. But we seem to have obviously adopted Fernandinho in that centre-back role, which I think he's a phenomenal player. And I've actually enjoyed him playing that role. But yeah, it's not ideal having your two. In a perfect scenario, Stones and Laporte would be our starting centre-backs. And obviously they're both injured. It's not ideal. We're dealing with it. And I think we've only conceded 1 goal with this as a partnership so far. So it's not bad. But yeah, we've got holes that can be easily exploited, especially when Edison's playing in the centre.
Did you see the video of Harwood?
What an absolute bargain.
Seems former champion,
Louise.
Scores for Arsenal. Dave Jackson, talk us through the goal.
I believe it was Granit Xhaka on the corner. It was like a corner. Ball whipped in. David Luiz got up higher, like a salmon. Yeah, swooped. And he just nutted the ball into. It's Pepe with the assist.
Nice.
That'll do him good. That is
in slow motion, didn't it?
I'll be honest, that is atrocious defending from Bournemouth. But we will take it. We will take it. That is a good header.
That's got to annoy Eddie Howe as well, because he came out this morning and said, one thing we can't do is concede early.
Yes,
that's exactly what they've done.
Go on, David.
It's like happened to Willian here.
Going back to Tottenham, Smithy.
Go on.
What do you make? No, I'm not going to wind you up because I do that the rest of my life. But
he does.
What do you make of the Spurs fans saying Poch out?
Well, it's interesting you say that because
absolutely.
I've been the last 2 games I went to, the Southampton game on the weekend, 2 in a week, and then midweek against Bayern. None of the Spurs people that I know in the stadium want Poch out. And even at the game yesterday, they were chanting his magic, at 1-0 down. The whole away end was chanting that. So I do think there is a perception on social media, the hashtag Poch out, there's a lot of non-Spurs fans that are tweeting that.
Well,
I think there's a tiny minority.
There's a hashtag Poch out, it means that it's coming from...
But it's not all Tottenham fans. I think a lot of that, a lot of phone-ins and stuff, there's not always Tottenham fans there's a massive majority of Spurs fans. I mean, I don't personally know any Tottenham fans that want Pochettino out. I personally think we'd be crazy to even think that as a mindset.
The suggestion of it is...
It's stupid.
Yeah. It's madness.
But Twitter...
The Champions League final.
Football Twitter always shows the worst of every fan base, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, true, but there's something happened there.
Yeah,
They've
definitely.
obviously said it.
There's something...
I've heard radio phone-ins and they're going, it's just time for him to go now. I'm like, are you...
Yeah, I'm just saying, from my experience, I don't know any Tottenham fan that actively wants Pochettino out. There probably is a minority that do, and it's the results aren't good. There's no getting away from that. Spurs were poor yesterday, poor in the week as well.
What would you say is the problem there?
Well, it's a great question, and I probably don't have the answer to it. I don't know what's going on at Tottenham. I'm not as worried as certain fans are, if I'm being brutally honest, because I still look at the league table. I think Spurs are...
8th, yeah?
I mean, we're equal with Chelsea. I know you've got a game in hand. We're only a couple of points behind the likes of think we're 3 points behind Leicester, who've had a fantastic start to the season. I've got it here, Leicester 14, Tottenham on 11, West Ham a point ahead, and everyone said they've had an amazing start to the season. Chelsea equal on points with the game in hand. So I don't think there's massive problems at Spurs. I am surprised, though, with how badly we've started the season. Bearing in mind,
from Arsenal there,
we didn't really have any major injuries other than the new signings that we've had. The new stadium's there. We've got a fantastic amount of young players, experience. Everything is there for Tottenham to have a very good season. So, and we were terrible. I cannot get away from the fact that we played very poorly. But I'm not overly concerned. I don't think Pochettino's going to go at this stage. If you're asking me, will he be here next season? It's an impossible question to answer because it depends on so many other factors.
Something's definitely wrong there, isn't it?
What do you think, Rob?
I don't know. It looks like watching the game yesterday against Brighton. Brighton was superb, but just the aura of the players, they were just like, oh.
It was flat, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Dougie, you're probably the best place in the fact that you support obviously Sunderland,
yeah.
Not a rival. Everyone else is a rival for top six here. So what do you think are the major or the main issue at Tottenham?
I think that you're actually sort of paying the price for that year where you didn't sign anyone. I think last year you sort of overachieved, particularly in the Champions League. Fantastic run, beating Dortmund, going through away goals against City, beating Ajax. But you only really played well in that 45 minutes against Ajax, the last 45.
Yeah.
Did well in the final. And then Christian Eriksen declaring he wanted to leave. If I was Levy, at that stage, I would have sold him earlier in the summer because you're going to lose him for free next year now. And
a bit like the Aaron Ramsey one, wasn't it?
Exactly. And it seems like, I'm not blaming it all on Christian Eriksen, but it seems like some of the squad harmony that was so crucial to your success under Pochettino when he first came in seems to have dissipated slightly. But I do agree, Giovanni Lo Celso will be a big impact when he comes in. I think Ndombele started very well. But then also the decision to sell Kieran Trippier and leave it with Juan Foyt and Walker Peters.
Strange one,
that was a strange one as well. So I think it's a combination of things. But I'm kind of with you. I think Pochettino is the man to sort it out. Be careful what you wish for, Spurs fans. Like, you finished three times in the top four from 1990 to when he took over. You finished 4 times in the last 6 years. So be careful what you wish for.
Who would you get that's better than Poch?
Exactly. At this stage, no one.
I wouldn't even entertain the idea.
No one.
For me, he's... And going back to what you were saying about Emery, for me... I've been very lucky enough to work with Pochettino on 4 occasions, and he's one of the class. You've worked with him as well.
Absolute dude, isn't he?
Epitomises class.
Super charismatic.
And the whole of that club is filtered down by how he carries himself. I'm not talking about him as a manager. I'm talking about him as a person here. No, the guy is absolute class. Like, I watched all of the post-match. I don't know why, actually. I watched all the reaction of the first game. The last 3, and it was very painful. But I watched all of it, and even just shaking everyone's hands. And just the guy is a class act, and he's a great manager. I wouldn't even entertain the idea of not having him at our football club. He's brilliant. What will happen? I think it's an impossible question. The fact that none of us can answer it sort of epitomises the situation.
I think other top managers, I don't think they'd want to work with Levy, to be honest, where it's he's well, no way. Right, I think if you've come with a stronger pedigree, I don't know, like an Allegri or whatever, right? It's like it's you have to be able to. I think the fact that Pochettino is even still there is what's going on, because the fact that he had to get Champions League football without spending a penny is ridiculous.
Injury in the Man City game?
Yes, I think he's pulled a muscle. He's cleared the ball.
Doesn't he?
It's early in the game, and it's a bit of a... I don't mean to rhyme here, but it's a bit of a shame. He's tried to kind of tussle the ball. He's tossing with Aguero. He's just cleared the ball out and he's pulled up. Unfortunately, they've had to make the sub. He tried to play on, but it doesn't look like he can continue.
Dave, going back to that, though, is it not equally... the fact that a lot of Arsenal fans want Unai Emery out as well, I know it's a different situation, but it's quite early on in his tenure, isn't it?
An absolute joke.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Do you find that odd that Arsenal fans want Emery out as well, or a percentage of Arsenal fans, should I say?
Absolutely. I mean, what? I just really... I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I'm still in the Unai camp, but I think if he doesn't get Champions League football this season, considering the money we've spent, and what would he have had down? It would have been his 4th transfer window. Was that right? Would that have been the third?
In January it was 4th.
Then I think maybe it's time to at least have a look elsewhere. I think that's like the bigger issue. Like, I think.
Don't suggest that.
I think that's the thing with the Spurs one. Like, Pochettino is arguably one of the best coaches in the world. Like, I just could not understand. So we have like our football. Well. We have like our football daily WhatsApp group, and one of the Spurs fans in there, Sonny, was like, I just literally could not believe it that he was saying it.
He'll really regret that.
Yeah.
Would you take Mourinho at Arsenal?
For football reasons, 100%. Yeah. But I think with somewhere like the way that he kind of
His abrasive nature.
Well, it's not even. I don't care. The thing is, if he was winning, I would not care whatsoever about that. But I think the way that he disrespected Wenger and some of them, I just don't think that was,
It'd be hard for an
Boss, can you ever really manage Chelsea, Man United, and Arsenal? I can't see that.
Yeah. Mourinho would.
Guys, I've got a question from Cameron Hazelwood. Who will win the Golden Boot? Tubes, do you think it could be Tammy?
Oh, what a ball! Oh.
That would be a shock, but he's only one behind Aguero as it stands.
Yeah. I would absolutely love Tammy to do it. I really would.
Chance for Tammy, speaking of it.
I could tell you in a minute.
That's gone over. That's surely gone over.
What a clip.
It's a goal.
That's a goal.
Technology shoot.
That's another one for Tammy.
Tammy can win the Golden Boot.
You don't think he can win the Golden Boot?
Tammy,
That's the best timed question in football.
Tammy Abraham. What was his Hazelwood?
Yeah, Cameron Hazelwood. What a legend.
He just
What a
started
question.
and Tammy Abraham win the Golden Boot. You said I don't think so, and he scored.
Cameron the Prophet. Good man.
Tubes, talk us through this goal, mate. It is Southampton 0, Chelsea 1.
Hudson-Odoi again. I think you put the ball through, bounce.
That's lovely.
Tipped over the keeper, and that has crossed the line. Chelsea 1-0. We haven't been good. We're 1-0 up. Get in.
Good effort to try and clear off the goal line. Very acrobatic.
Hazelwood, ask more questions. Say, can Chelsea win the Champions League? Hazelwood, it's all about Hazelwood.
Have more faith in him, Tubesy. He's bagging it.
I think he can win the Golden Boot. Yes, of course he can.
And guys, keep getting your questions in. Clearly, the questions lead to goals. So get them in. Talk about Aguero, talk about Pepe. They're leading to goals
There's a
here.
Sky Bet pillow. So good goal for Chelsea. Lovely finish that, by the way.
I like the way you dropped it in there. I like the way you dropped it. There's the Sky Bet pillow.
Great attempted clearance, by the way. We all thought that it was a great clearance, but obviously...
Oh, Sammy.
8th goal in his last 6 Premier League appearances. Joint top Premier League goal scorer. Why can't he win the Golden Boot, Peter?
If he carries on like that, he can. I don't think he will.
Only Sterling has
scored again.
Only Sterling has scored more goals in all competitions for an English club this year than Tammy Abraham.
Go on, Pepe.
I'm so pleased for Tammy.
Yeah, what an impact.
So pleased for him.
Good goal as well, isn't it?
And again, I'm not trying to name drop here. He is such a down-to-earth guy.
Yeah, he is.
And he's got that sort of the attitude to go to those levels.
I'm glad he got his call up.
Yeah.
Because to
And
nail
Tamori.
getting them actually locked down into England is so important.
Since the start of last
there was
season,
talk about
Tammy
Managerial, wasn't
Abraham scored more goals than any English striker in the top 2 tiers since the start of last season.
Phenomenal.
8 goals in his last 7 appearances. This is before today, including 7 in his last 5. Only Sergio Aguero scored more Premier League goals this season.
He's gone like the same sort of route as Harry Kane, hasn't he? Out on loan,
Yeah.
not sulking, just doing it, going, and now...
Hat-trick at Molineux as well, Tubes.
Huh?
Hat-trick at Molineux he scored as well.
It's a great hat-trick as well, particularly one of the goals completely turning Conor Cody inside out. But Jacko, we've got a question which could well be directed at you from Michael Roses. Who is the better youngsters, Arsenal or Chelsea?
Ooh,
Chelsea.
it's a good question, that.
I think the fact that Chelsea players are going to get more minutes, aren't they? So I think that's going to be the fact they're actually going to be playing and actually starting. I think, you kind of have to say, go on!
Oh, chance for Arsenal, Dave. What happened there?
Pepe is finally starting to come good.
He scored, did he?
Almost.
I know.
He's looking right there, Pepe. I think the thing in this game, he's having a little bit more time on the ball, which is...
Bournemouth giving you a lot of space,
really
aren't they?
It's really helping him. But at the moment, you probably would say the Chelsea kids...
And chance for City. James, you haven't talked about City yet. How have they played?
Really struggling to break them down, to be fair. Wolves have been defending very well. A lot of crosses in from the corner of the box this time. Another one kind of came out to Mahrez and he went for it, but once again blocked. So many blocks in this game. Wolves are defending very, very, very well.
So just a reminder of the scores. It is Man City 0, Wolves 0, Southampton 0, Chelsea 1 and Arsenal 1-0 up. First goal of the day thanks to David Luiz against Bournemouth.
Arsenal are pressing the ball very, very well today. This is the first time I've seen them this season in the league actually playing particularly well.
Oh no, we've done it again.
Which is nice. Go on,
Chance for
Wolves.
Wolves.
Go on, Wolves.
Another half chance for Wolves.
Go on, Jimenez.
Chance for Wolves.
Great tackle.
What is going on at City? Wolves have 2 big chances.
We just keep giving the ball to their striker for some reason. Cutrone just running down, giving it to Jimenez, who took a shot. Fernandinho got the last-ditch block in, and then the second shot came and it hit him in the box.
What's that part?
He literally just sat up. It was
Fernandinho saving us once again, but we are...
Twice, wasn't it?
It's 2... The biggest chances in this game have come from Wolves, and we have...
They'll be kicking themselves, they haven't seen.
I love that. The second block from Mark.
I don't think you knew a lot about
no
it.
clue. Hit him straight. in the face.
James, Ratley Wizard has asked.
Some great names on the
What do you think will be the difference maker between City and Liverpool in the table come the end of the year?
That defence of Man City's.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry, that's not my question.
if an injury comes in for Liverpool, they will drop off in a similar way that we have. It's just about. I mean, it's two. Last year's title race was so fierce. And I think this year's is going to be the same again. I just think it's going to be those small margins, those 2-2s against Tottenham when you've got however many shots in, they've got 2 shots on target, yet they score 2 goals. I think it's just going to be one of those Premier League seasons where the tiniest of margins will win it. Liverpool have never stopped being fantastic from 3 seasons ago. City similar. So, yeah, I think the finer margins are going to, it's the only thing that's separating them really.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely massive. I mean, Liverpool's defence, we talk about City's defence, but they've only kept 3 clean sheets in all competitions this year. It hasn't been vintage Liverpool defending. I think they came against Sheffield United, Burnley and MK Dons in the Carabao, and otherwise they haven't kept one.
They've won 17 games in a row.
But they have won 17 games in a row. That forward line, you're always going to be in and around.
Phenomenal.
If you take Van Dijk out of that defence, then you're going to...
I think Matip as well has been exceptional this year.
Fantastic, but I think Van Dijk holds that all together. He's telling them, like, it's like JT back at Chelsea. He'd be like, you're there, he's just such, he commands that back line.
Yeah.
But you take him out of that team, then, Man City have definitely got a chance.
I was looking at the heat maps of Van Dijk and Joel Matip, and they are as identical as you can have for a centre-back pairing. They're literally just so in tune with each other. And a lot of the stats from Matip have actually been better than Van Dijk this season. But I agree with Tubes what he's saying. I think if you took Matip out, you've got the likes of Lovren, you've got Joe Gomez. Whereas I think if you take Van Dijk out, from being at the Champions League final, I was sat behind the goal, and Van Dijk just talks, communicates, it just controls the whole back line. So I think it's what he does as well as on the pitch in terms of how much they look up to him. If you took him out of the team, or if they got an injury, because Liverpool were quite lucky with injuries last season. I don't seem to remember anyone getting injured
Except
for a long
Oxford
period
with
of time.
long-term injury, but that's about it.
If you look at Man City had players, Spurs had a host of injuries last season. Arsenal did. Liverpool, their front 3 seem to play every single game. So I think that's a fear for me with Liverpool. If one of them does get injured, how they cope with that.
Yeah.
Chance for Arsenal. I think he's given a penalty, Dave.
Pepe. Oh, chance for Wolves. Chance for Wolves again. Got a score.
This is...
what is going on at Wolves?
How say 3 identical chances for Wolves?
Well, there's 2 big incidents and a penalty shout for Arsenal. Let's go to Pepe. Let's go to Dave.
Yeah, he's tried to take on his man.
Is this a penalty for you?
No, never.
Not a penalty for you?
Not for me.
I've seen him given.
Has it, just to confirm, has the referee given this? It's not a penalty?
I don't believe it is.
Is he still talking there in a look?
VAR's having a look.
VAR's looking at it.
Never a penalty.
What's the original decision, Dave? Because they'll only overturn it if it's clear and obvious error.
I think the Bournemouth defenders clearly won that. He's not the ball under Pepe's.
It's one of these that I've seen given and I've seen not. It's very subjective. There is contact.
I don't think that's a pen.
The referee hasn't given it. It's gone to VAR as the penalty does. It's not been given, and it is a corner to Arsenal. Dave, let's stick with you for the corner.
Chance back. Who's going in?
Thank you, Dave. Great analysis.
Oh, my bet's coming. Mason Mount!
Judy, remind us of your bet and tell us what's happened.
Mason Mount. Yes! What a goal!
And your bet, Tubes, was...
Go on, Super Frank, what?
What was your bet? Remind us.
Chelsea to win and Mason Mount to score.
It's coming good. Here's the replay. Talk us through. Southampton will not want to see this back.
Well, it's not a bad kick. It's not a bad kick. Alonso with a great header.
No. Oh, what's your man done there?
Was that Bednarak?
I want to talk about Jorginho, by the way. That's Williams thread through Mason Mount. Mason Mount finished 2-0 Chelsea. Bang.
Not great defending from Southampton perspective, but the ball is in the back of the net. It's Southampton 0, Chelsea 2.
And we didn't start well for the first 10-15. We've come alive. Mason Mount, what a finish. Can I speak about Jorginho?
Yes, speak about Jorginho, Peter.
A footballer. Last year he got a bit of stick, but I don't think Maurizio Sarri let him be the player he is.
Right.
This year he's been unbelievable.
What do you mean by that, in terms of where he played him? Or?
Well, he was playing him in the Kante role, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So straight away Chelsea fans were going, that's Kante's role, role, which it is.
Yeah.
But now he just sort of roams around the middle. He's not box to box, he's never going to be. But he just commands the middle of the pitch. And he's another one we were talking about. He's like Van Dijk. He's like, you're there, get there, and he just commands the game. He's brilliant.
I agree with you. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the Premier League and really coming to his own this year. And it's great to see because he got such a hard time last year. He was used as almost the Sarri scapegoat at times.
Yeah, it wasn't. Some Chelsea fans booed him off.
Yeah. We just talked about what happened in the City game. What happened there, Jay?
Yeah, that was the Jimenez. We got a replay just then of the Jimenez attempt a few minutes ago, and they're trying to see if it was a penalty or not. I don't think so at all. Jimenez slows down, meaning that Fernandinho's body and his come together. But I mean, he's kind of dived forward, landed on Ederson extremely dramatically. Yeah, so it is a word, making sure. I kept on saying dramatically in previous videos. So that is definitely not a word. But yeah, I mean, if Jimenez had actually seen that Ederson was coming towards him and chipped him over, it would have been an easy goal for him. But he's obviously played for the penalty, annoyingly, because he's a fantastic player. And they're kind of trying to review it and see if it is a penalty, but clearly not.
We've got to talk about Man City because they have not started well. Wolves could be 2-3-0 up.
Yeah, those chances.
Defensive problems again.
Those chances have really given Wolves confidence, and they've actually dominated a bit of the ball recently. Right now we're looking, scared of the having possession, which is quite characteristic of this side. We're not creating many chances. Last 5 minutes, I don't think I've seen us, apart from a big ball to Aguero, actually attack. A bit worrying. I don't know what time it is right now in terms of the game, but we need to sort at the moment.
Another chance for Mason Mount, Pete, in your game?
Mount. Yeah, the last 5 minutes we have looked unbelievable. Really flowing football. It's been great. Hudson-Odoi causing problems.
Jacko, we've got a question for you from Calippo Shot.
And I've got to say, the Sunday social names.
Sorry, can you just repeat who that question's from?
Calippo Shot. And they want to know, what are your thoughts on the Ozil situation? Do you want to see him brought back into the team? Or would you rather
We have to talk about Mesut Ozil trending on Twitter, not in the squad again, Dave.
So for my thing for this whole period is unless you are going to play him, he needs to be moved on. It's just ridiculous to have a player, A, that good, and B, to be on them kind of wages. If he's not even going to... At like this stage, if he's not even going to play in the Europa League, it's just absolutely...
Chance for Wolves again! James Wayne!
God,
what's this going on at Man City?
All over the place. Jimenez getting the ball on the right-hand side. Great ball in. I didn't see who took the shot, but it's just really, really awful football from City. Every tack they're having, they're straight in every single time. And it's just not great.
Dave, you're looking at this game. What have you made of... You've got your corner of your eye on the Man City game. Have you been surprised with that Man City started?
I think what's more worrying from a Man City point of view is the three big chances of Wolves have been almost identical. So if you are making mistakes and then you're actually trying to rectify them, then that's the Wolves' attack would have been a bit more clinical. They could have easily been two kind of goals up here.
Yeah, there's no one commanding our defence, which is the worst thing. You've got Fernandinho, who it's happening every time. We're losing the ball, and there's nobody. The communication between the two centre backs just aren't there right now. Fernandinho is literally just letting Otamendi do what he wants. Otamendi's letting Fernandinho do what he wants, and it's just creating huge gaps for Wolves to play into.
But in other news, this is the best I've seen Arsenal play this season. We're playing really, really well.
Yeah?
We're playing really well.
OK. But importantly, it's Man City 0, Wolves 0. So Wolves fans watching this, they need a goal badly because you've got to take the chances at the end. You know that Pep Guardiola will have strong words at half-time and City will probably score 15 goals or something outrageous like that.
If my bet's coming in, it's going to be a crazy second half.
Wayno, on the topic of Man City, Rudy LUFC has asked, do Man City go for the Champions League and forget about the title?
I don't know why we aren't going for it. Why we'd have to focus on one thing rather than the other. We should be. We challenged on all four fronts last season. Unfortunate game against Tottenham, but that happens.
I like it, mate.
But it's one of those things. We won 4 trophies last season. Challenged on every front, so that we shouldn't be focusing on one rather than the other. We should be going for absolutely everything we can do, and I don't see why you would dip out of one competition just for another. Footballers want to win, they want to play.
I never understood.
Yeah, it's a silly mentality to have for an elite team.
Focus on the Champions League. So what are you going to do? Just sack off the Premier League?
Yeah, just not turn up for a game.
Because it's also as well...
Oh, Southampton goal! Tuesday, I've noticed you're not as animated as this goal than the previous goal in this game. Can you describe this goal in detail for me, please, my friend?
No.
Hello.
Danny Ings scored.
Thank you, Tubes. I do want to go any closer. Camera 2 to Tubes' body language there, because it is a picture. There it is. You going to describe this for us, Tubes?
Danny Ings scored. Pulled across the box.
Very big close-up, that.
Yeah.
It is. We've got big enough faces. It is.
There we go.
Good finish from Danny Ings, to be fair. The ball's come across. He slid in from about 5 yards out and stuck it in.
It's great feet from
Is it-
Valeri in the
is it
build-up,
own goal?
yeah.
There we go. So Danny Ings' 6th goal in 8 games against the Big Six sides. He
We're
liked
all
scoring
over.
against the Big Six.
We're all
Scored
over.
against Spurs last week. So it is Southampton 1, Chelsea 2. Interesting game, that. Doogie, you've got a question for us?
Yes,
on
I
social?
do. I swallow come Aka Aryan Dawish has asked. I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. They've asked, is Aubameyang the best striker? Aubameyang,
Okay.
best striker in the Premier League? Jacko.
On current form.
Yeah, I think
I'd say he's a
I
current
think he's just amazing. I don't understand how he's actually playing for us. He's so much better than.
So
the
you
rest
think,
of the
as an
players.
Arsenal fan, he's too good to play for Arsenal?
No, I'm not saying that. Kind of, I was saying that. But no, what it is, I think he is so much better in his position.
So, Tubes, Southampton again.
Yep.
Nathan Redmond is
Nathan Redmond.
biting his hand. He knows he had a half chance, I'll call that.
Good ball over the top from a free kick, and he's just peeled off Zuma.
He pulled that.
Yeah.
Zuma's been a bit inconsistent at the start of this year. He had that very poor game against Man United and then looked to be coming back into a bit of form. I actually thought he played pretty well against Lille during the midweek game. But sleeping there...
I personally prefer Christensen.
Christensen tomorrow, who's
Yeah. Christian tomorrow. And Rudiger when he comes back.
Of course, Rudiger still come back.
I'd probably go Rudiger and Tomori. But
Fair.
I do like Zuma, but I just think, like you say, sometimes he switches off.
Jimbo, on the topic of central defenders, Adzim Van Doom, again, has asked, should Man City sign a new defender? You're rumoured with Romagnoli of AC Milan and Skriniar, or keep it going with the current players and your young players coming through?
Yeah, I think
Sign,
we're
sign,
going to
sign.
hear a lot of... we're going to sign some form of centre-back. I've heard Soyuncu as well, which I quite like him, to be fair. I think we will do. We always do. You know, if we've got an issue, we'll throw money at it. It's been the City way for a long while. And this issue... Like with last season having Kevin De Bruyne out for the whole season, it's something that we could manage with. You know, we didn't have that fantastic, you know, arguably our best player in the team, but this is a genuine, you know, problem right now. Having our 2 best centre backs injured for, I mean, Stones is a shorter term injury, but I mean, you don't want this to be an issue, and so I guess we'll throw money at somebody. I would be extremely surprised if we did kind of promote either Garcia or Harwood Bellis. It would be Garcia if anyone, but I'd be very, very surprised because unfortunately, like kind of Chelsea have done over the last years, we're just going to throw money at players instead of playing our youth. Obviously, I'd prefer one of those two to come through, Garcia or Harwood Bellis, but
Oh, no,
yeah, we will
Tammy's-
chuck
Injury
someone.
for... Is this a worry?
Well, he's
Tubes,
holding
I think he looks like he might be coming back on.
When any footballer holds their hamstring, it's always a massive worry because that's not just an injury you can run off. Frank doesn't... Well, there's a close-up of Frank on the screen. Obviously, you guys at home can't see, but I'm telling you, there's a close-up of Frank on the screen.
Go on, Sterling. Go on, Sterling.
And he doesn't
save.
look... He looks a bit worried.
Yeah, he's just walked off. We're waiting to see if he's going to continue. He's with the physio on the side of the pitch. Whilst we wait to see if Tammy... But I think he might be right here, Tubes. I think he's going to come back on. We will keep you updated with that. We can give you a price boost on your screen
Yes,
right now.
come on.
Courtesy of our friends at
Go on, Gwen
Sky
does
Bet.
it.
Doogie loved that price boost.
I do.
He hadn't even seen it. It is Aubameyang to score from outside the penalty area, Dave Jackson. Was 15-2, now 9-1. Don't forget, you must be 18+. Full terms and conditions apply.
Get on it, what bet?
Responsibly.
Come on,
Love that.
Dave, thoughts on that price boost?
That is one of the best price boosts you have ever given us. That
Is
is
it?
unbelievable. It's
Okay.
definitely worth at least a tenner, I would say.
OK, but gamble responsibly.
Bam responsive when the fun stop.
Yeah, well done, well said.
Nice.
Tammy is back on, Tubes.
Good, thanks.
So there we go.
Yeah,
so
happy days.
nothing to worry about as things stand. Southampton just sort of easing their way back
It's
into
a
it.
great game, this. It is a great game. It's end-to-end. It started really poorly, but it's a fantastic game. And they seem to be getting on top, so it's not that fantastic.
Get a load of this from the Grim Reaper in the comments section.
Surely.
What top 6 manager will get sacked first?
Top 6. I think
Yeah.
it's probably going to be Ollie.
We're thinking Ollie,
Ollie
Yeah.
will go.
especially considering...
No, this is just a
No,
bit...
there's no way they'll
Getting
sack
sacked.
Pochettino.
No.
Because at the very least, David Levy, whatever his name is, he'll want some
David Levy.
compensation.
Oh, wow.
Like, there's no way they'll sack him.
I agree that Ollie's probably the closest, but I'm not sure they will. I think Ed Woodward said at the start of the year the team in transition. He's had a lot of injuries to contend with this year as well. Martial, Pogba's been out for long stages. He obviously lost Sanchez and Lukaku. The back end of the transfer window, they didn't replace him. I think they're fully behind him just getting a top 4 this year. I think they'd be totally happy with that. But if it looks like top 4 is completely impossible, then I think they might make it.
Do you know what's interesting, Dougie? We were chatting about Spurs fans and Pochettino, Arsenal fans and Emery. There's also a bit of a split with United fans and Ollie now. I've seen for recent results.
Definitely.
So it's quite interesting that there's a few managers amongst that top 6 that you look at. So it's an interesting question that's raised by the Grim Reaper.
The Grim Reaper.
Yeah, good old Grim Reaper.
The Lord of Death.
It's a massive game live on Sky, of course. Newcastle against Man United. Huge game. I don't know who needs to win that more, actually. Steve Bruce or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
United have to.
I mean, it's...
Yeah.
I actually fancy Newcastle against them.
I mean, the capitulation at Leicester City from Newcastle last week was atrocious. And if they have another similar style result to that against Man United, then Steve Bruce will be the most under-pressure manager in the Premier League. But I'd actually right now say Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs it. I thought they were, again, really poor in midweek against AZ Alkmaar, who aren't the best side. I think they're third in the Eredivisie.
Didn't have a shot on target.
But why the current state of Man United, for me, is why are they putting a weakened team out?
Go on, that's better.
Yeah, get a win, get some momentum.
Get the momentum.
Any competition just for confidence.
The confidence. I didn't understand that. They didn't have a shot on target.
Chance for City, edge of the box. James, let's go to you here.
If this is Cancelo, I think he's too scared to hit the ball with his left foot.
Oh,
God. Yeah, just a really good ball through to, I think it was Cancelo.
Yeah.
He looked terrified to cross the ball in on his left. Came back in, wasted the opportunity because we were overloading. And
we should talk about him because we haven't spoken about him. We haven't spoken about him much on the Football Social this season.
No,
as a signing, I know we haven't seen a great delivery, but what are your thoughts on him?
Very, very happy. I'm surprised Juventus let him go in the first place. I mean, Danilo was a good servant to the club. I really enjoyed him. I thought he got a lot of flack unnecessarily.
Yeah.
And, wish him well when he's at Juventus. Unfortunately, I think he's injured now. So obviously not having the best of times over there. But to get Cancelo is a massive upgrade. And I'm just really confused why Juventus would let him go in the first place. Very, very happy to have him. Can obviously play both sides full-back. But did look terrified to cross the ball with his left there, so that's slightly worrying from my point of view.
It was a bit strange, though, that Pep was like, we didn't have the money to reinvest in a company replacement, but yet you decided to swap a perfectly able Danilo for Cancelo to basically play right-back backup, effectively, unless Cancelo's going to take Walker's place in the coming over the course of the season. But I would have definitely signed another centre-back, especially with Stones towards the back end of last year was looking, lost a bit of form. I'm not saying by any means he's done or anything, but definitely when he comes back into the side, he's going to have to hit the ground running.
Better.
He's under pressure at England and Man City.
Much better spell for Man City. Another chance, James. We'll stick with you for this.
It's just a bit of the same.
Joy down that left, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's very similar to the last chance.
I mean, we are getting the balls into the box, but it's just obviously we're quite a short side, so no one's on the end to receive it when you compare it to the back line of Wolves. Mahrez taking the ball towards Wolves, pass it on to the left. David Silva's free, just tries to get the ball in, no one's there. It's just happened a lot this game, and we need that kind of intricacy in passing outside the box. We haven't seen this game, and it would be nice. I think that's the only way we can break them down, because at the moment Wolves look quite comfortable.
Speaking of Man City this week as well, we can't not talk about Man City and not talk about the man I just saw in the corner mile there, David Silva. Tube's fastest ever Premier League player to get to 200 wins, David Silva. Where does he rank for you in terms of, if we're comparing him to some of the midfield greats? I know
he's a
Lampard fan.
He's a Premier League great. Fact.
Where do you put him amongst them? The best midfield.
Oh, hang on. Sorry. There we go. Of all time in the Premier League, top 5, along with Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes. He's brilliant.
It's tough to say who's. I always find it's a tough question to say who's the best of the lot because. But I always felt for years David Silva was a player that was admired but was never put in that category. Do you know what I mean by that? And it's only recently that people are starting talking about him.
There's no doubt he's in that top bracket.
Yeah, phenomenal record.
Unbelievable.
4 Premier League titles, been crucial in every single one of them. I think he's contributed over 20 goals in the last 4 years. Goals and assists, that is. A remarkable level of consistency, and also for a guy who's not always been fully.
Oh
my days, what a strike!
Me and my little pillow. Go on then. Yes. Kante deflected goal, 3-1.
Southampton 1, Chelsea 3, big goal.
Awesome going forward.
Here's a replay, mate. Talk us through it.
Jorginho again with a pinpoint pass out to Alonso, who's played well last few games. Balls come across, Kante, 1 touch, 2 touch, bang.
Oh, big deflection.
Big deflection, but big goal.
Big deflection. It will go to him
Much
because obviously
needed.
the rule is if it's going towards the goal, he will get the goal, even though it was going straight to the keeper. It will go down as an N'Golo contact
We
goal.
have played well. We are really gelling as a football team here. I love this. Super Frank.
Right, we've got a couple of questions in.
Who are they from, Doogie?
Vavaboom 141
Come on.
has told me to get a hair transplant. That's rude. But if you pay for it, Vavaboom, we could do it.
Right.
Well, compared to Tubes,
Not talking about me.
We can both get one
let's
together.
have a side by side. Go on, camera 2. There we go.
Vote in the comments.
Vote in the
Who
poll.
needs it more? Dens292 has asked though, who's the better better Liverpool front three? Salah, Mane and Firmino, or Sterling, Suarez and Sturridge from back when? 2013-14. What do you guys think on that?
Great question.
I think it's
City
just
one.
Go on.
Sorry, the Liverpool one, Man City one. Liverpool's current front three now, definitely, because don't get me wrong, I'm a huge Raheem Sterling fan now, but the heights he was at then
Different
wasn't
player.
what he was now.
Yeah.
And I think as a three as well, obviously Suarez was fantastic, but was more influential than the other two in terms of goals and assists in that particular season. Whereas the front three of Liverpool now, all of them get goals, all of them get assists. I think that's one of the hardest questions to answer when you say who do you rate the most out of the front three. You can make a case for any three of those. So for me, I would say the current front three. Tubes.
I totally agree with, for once, what Adam's just said. Adam.
Thanks, Peter.
It's no worries, Adam. He's absolutely smashed it. But for me, the best player out the front three for Liverpool is Firmino.
I agree with you there as well.
Yeah.
I think he's been one of the...
Yeah. Do you know Jurgen Klopp said that as well in...
Did he?
Talking about... No,
I bet he didn't say that.
He said that he is world-class, they're all world-class, but Firmino is world-class all of the time.
Yeah, I think he said Mane is sometimes world-class. Salah's often, Firmino is always.
Firmino is always world-class.
He's such a clever footballer. He's brilliant.
The way he uses space.
There might be a pen here for Arsenal.
Really?
Dave, talk us through what's happening. Dave is very quiet when he watches Arsenal.
Well, we haven't played...
Gone to VAR.
So I think Pepe's heels may have been clipped. So I don't know.
What was the original decision? This is
It
important.
was it's not been given.
OK, so not a penalty.
Not a penalty. Probably the right decision.
OK.
To be fair.
There we go.
but
You'll notice when Dave
Arsenal
watches
not playing
Arsenal,
well.
particularly if Arsenal go behind, you won't hear from Dave for a
We're
while.
at the moment, so but we're not playing well at the moment. We need to get the second goal because we played very well for this first half of football. So to just give us that extra cushion, I would feel a lot better.
Tubes has got an extra cushion if you want it.
You ain't taking my lucky cushion.
Pepe very much involved today, Dave.
He's been a lot brighter today. He's been a lot brighter. But to be fair, we're pressing the ball a lot better, and we're kind of causing issues rather than just hoping something will happen. So it's nice to see, but a bit of a chance of Bournemouth here. What are we doing? Clearer lines. And we have.
Right, we've had another question.
And what's the name, more importantly?
Rangan Nick 222. Thoughts on West Ham's start to the season? Obviously, they got that last-minute defeat to Palace yesterday, overturned VAR decision on that Jordan Ayew goal. What have you guys made of West Ham so far?
Yeah, just fantastic. Yeah, Pellegrini's kind of sorting that side out to be a European contender.
Do you think they break top six, though? For me, they're not in the...
I think they could easily push to at least Europa
I
League.
think Leicester are above them in terms of
Yeah,
more likely
but
to break into
they're
it.
fighting on that level.
Yeah.
I mean, Pellegrini is not a manager you want to really doubt, and the players they have are fantastic. The fact that, like...
Did you see that goal yesterday? 20-pass move.
It's
so
good goal.
nice.
It's the
Palace
fact that
goal.
a few years ago you had fans invading the pitch, taking the corner flag and shoving it in the middle.
And that Burnley game, yeah.
And now you've got this...
That was only... You're right, that was only 2 years ago, I'm pretty sure.
I think that the Sullivans have really kind of looked at what they were doing and thought, let's actually change this. And I think it's one of the best, or kind of the most, it's one of the best reactions from an owner I think I've ever seen in a club, because they were in turmoil before.
Yeah, well, I think
and now they're such a good.
The crucial thing was they got a new director of football in called Mario Hacios, and he got in like Diop, Fabianski, Fornals, Felipe Anderson, Yarmolenko, all these players that are now coming to the fore that have just taken West Ham from a solid mid-table side to, I agree with you, a Europa League contender. I don't think they'll get top six. But they could, be in and around it.
The emergence
definitely.
of Declan Rice.
Oh, yeah.
And Declan Rice as well. Yeah, Tubes, where do you want Declan Rice starting ahead of Winks in an England midfield? Where do you think he sort of ranks in English midfielders at the moment?
I think for a sitting midfielder, he's the best.
He's the best.
Yeah.
Better than Winks?
Do you? The best midfielder for England?
The way
in that
England
role.
play, probably. I love Harry Winks as a footballer. But I don't know. I think he'll go Declan Rice, if I'm honest.
Fair.
But he's brought Fabian Delph back in, hasn't he?
Yeah, he
Yeah, he has, yeah.
It's strange, that one.
So I don't know. I think Declan Rice, he's only young still. I think he's got a massive future. But then again, I love Harry Winks. But do you think Harry Winks can play a bit further forward?
Yeah, he'll definitely play further forward.
The Spurs have played a lot
I
of
don't think that's a
formations
direct
this
competition,
season.
if I'm honest. But
Smithy, what have you made of Winks this year? Because he does sometimes.
Oh, here we go. This is the problem with Chelsea.
Chance for Chelsea. Chance for Southampton. Sorry, I'll come back to that in a minute.
Yeah, don't worry.
Tubes. We're into additional time of the first half. Big chance for Southampton.
Yeah, a mistake.
Danny Ings again, wasn't it?
So here we go. Tomori's come out. He's got
dear.
Possession, and Danny Ings and Jorginho,
Back
the main
again.
man, has cleared it off the line.
Should Danny Ings do better? I don't. It's a bit harsh. It's a good clearance, isn't it? There,
That's a
rather
good
than
clearance. We shouldn't be giving the ball away.
into injury time in all three of our games. Don't get all kicked off at the same time. Southampton with a what needed a goal there really to stand anything.
I love
in this
watching
game.
Chelsea now. I love this new Chelsea.
And make sure you're getting your questions into our panellists in the comments section. We've had some crackers so far, and the most recent was actually from me. I just put one of mine in there.
What's your name on there?
Balding 98. Smithy,
Yes.
Winks divides opinion pretty much with neutrals. I think most Spurs fans are really behind him. But what do you think about Winks and what do you think about his future in the game?
I love Harry Winks as a player. The criticism that he gets from certain fans is that probably doesn't take as many risks and that he does like the safe passes, or what opposition fans say, he likes the sideways pass more often than he won't drive and look for that ball to split the lines.
But that's not his role, is it?
Exactly what I was about to say.
No one gives Kante a hard time.
That isn't his role because we tend to play. I think where we play best is as a 4-2-3-1. He breaks up play fantastically. He's technically very good. He reads the game well. He's very young. I'm a big fan of his. Again, we're talking about players that are nice blokes as well. Fantastic, lovely guy. And I would start him in a fully fit Spurs team.
Really?
In 11, yeah. I'm a fan of his. But I understand where you come from. He would be in the England squad for me. I think he's a good player. But interesting to see how
Chelsea 3-1.
how it goes. And on that note, it is the half-time. Let's bring you some half-time scenes. Good half-time for most of our panellists.
Yes.
For Dave?
Yeah, half-time, Arsenal played well. Probably should be
These are the scenes
up.
at Southampton. Southampton 1, Chelsea 3. Tubes very happy. Peter Tubes-Dale on the show. Pretty well, wasn't it, so far? Last chance for Southampton, but it wasn't clear. Danny Ings with the goal. Abraham with the goal. Mason Mount with the goal. It's all going quite well so far.
I'm so impressed with what Frank and Jody have done in such a short space of time. I've got to be honest, and I love the new Chelsea. We look a little bit shaky at the back, but that will get better as time goes on. It's just brilliant. I just love it. I'm just really happy.
Yeah, very happy. Abraham, Mount and Conte with the goals. Danny Ings for Southampton. The full-time scenes you did see at Arsenal as well. Dave, Arsenal 1, Bournemouth 0.
Yes, mate.
David Luiz, something like that first half. It looks... I wouldn't say it was comfortable, but the better team of the football.
It's the best I've seen us play in the league, definitely. We've, as I say, I've said it a few times, we've pressed the football well. Saka has looked very, very sharp
Good
again.
player, isn't he?
We could have just done with that second goal just to kind of give us a bit more cushion. But,
Emery in?
Emery in at the moment. Pepe and Emery.
Look at it, so fickle. They're all rest on a couple of goals.
These are the scenes at the Etihad. Been our closest game of the lot so far, James. Be honest, have Wolves been the better team in the first half?
I wouldn't say they've been the better team, but their game plan is certainly working. They're defending really well, stopping us from getting any clear chances, and have counter-attacked very, I wouldn't say clinically, but they've got themselves into decent positions. Pep really needs to kind of sort this out. There's a lack of cohesion in this team that's quite worrying to see.
Yeah. Any changes that you do? You've got the team in front of you, you've got the substitutes in front of you. Would you like to change it a bit?
I don't know. I mean, if it's coming from me, I would obviously put Foden in. I think he's a bit more of a creative player than Gundogan. But it's in the middle that we're lacking. So usually you see Pep making his changes 10 minutes after half-time. You never actually see him make a change at half-time. He'll probably stick with Gundogan and then give it a few minutes.
Give it 10 minutes, see how it unfolds.
Obviously, Kevin De Bruyne is injured, so probably Foden in for me, but probably won't happen.
Let's remind us of our group bets as well. We did all have it's currently James Wayne. We all laughed at him. Body first goal scored 4-1 City. To be fair, that is still on. Still on. Needs an unbelievable second half. 950 to 1 you can get with Sky Bet. Dave has gone Aubameyang first goal and 3-1 Arsenal. That cannot happen, Dave.
No, I still think we'll win 3-1 though.
Tubes has gone Mount anytime goal scoring Chelsea to win. That is a live, Tubes. 13 to 5.
13 to 5. So was that 2.5 to 1? on.
13 to 5 it is, exactly as it's written there.
No, so you put. So hang on, let me work it out.
Okay.
So you put what, 13 quid on? No, tell me how it works.
You put 5 on.
To win 13.
Well, you get 18 back, don't you? Because you get your stake back as well. So
I've slowed this down
13 to
right
5.
down, haven't I?
Maths wasn't your strong point, was it? Maths wasn't your strong point.
Let's make it easy.
That's cool.
2.5 to 1.
Also, let's not
13 to
forget that I
5.
said Arsenal, Chelsea, and Man City to win, which is also very much alive. Following on from my correct score prediction last week.
Yeah, but that's not exactly a very courageous bet, is it?
It's still alive. Don't forget, you must be 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. Do bet responsibly, Dave Jackson.
Always.
Yeah.
Make sure you read the terms and conditions.
13 to 5.
What is it?
Very good.
Have you done that bit?
Do we take a quick question, Doogie?
Yeah, let's do it. Harry Harvey, first regular name we've had. Which 3 teams will get relegated?
I never like answering this. It's always a negative question.
Fair. OK, I'll just say that yesterday, Norwich did not play well.
Yeah.
I thought their defending against Villa was not good enough, but it seems like those 10, 11 injuries have finally caught up with them. But that was not a good performance, especially it's only been a month since they beat City fair and square in that amazing performance. But did not look good against Villa. I'm not going to say they're going to go down. But yeah, maybe we'll move on.
Can I just say that was a brilliant answer, wasn't it?
And can I say, looking on the screen, you don't need a hair transplant.
Oh, I don't know.
You've got a strong old line there.
We'll see. Get voting in the comments.
Just got a close-up of you there, just as you moved it away from that. There is the... Oh, it's another angle as well.
Yeah, that's...
There we go.
In fact, that's a phenomenal angle.
In trouble.
Go on, for the sake of both of you, I think both looking good with your US.
You've gone short as well recently. I think it's a good move.
Because I was going bald.
Yeah, you've got to do it.
On that note, we will move on. Big game after this as well for both
Massive game.
teams, Dave.
Yeah,
Jackson.
I actually fancy Newcastle to get something there.
It is Newcastle against Man United. That is live on Sky. He doesn't need a hair transplant, which is good. Newcastle against Man United live on Sky, of course. So Patrick Davison caught up with Steve Bruce ahead of the game. Here's what he had to say.
How tough is it, and do you feel like the people who sit in these seats now are on your side?
Well, I think the only way you can... Listen, I've said it from day one that I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And the big disappointment was Rafa was adored by all. And he's a very, very talented manager. There's no disputing that. And in some people's eyes, that wasn't the right choice for them. As I've said many times, the only way I can really, really win them over is by getting results. And the first 6 or 7 we knew was going to be difficult with the fixtures we had, but we certainly get a few results. Listen, in my career, the one thing that you remember more than successes is the bad times. I remember playing in the Nou Camp one day. I had a nightmare, got beat 4-0. Stays with me more than playing well in a cup final. You know, was
that Leicester game one of those moments, though?
Yeah, of course. I've only been beaten 5 a couple of times, I think, previous. Now, nobody wants to be beaten 5-0 in that manner. However, we've seen the great managers being beaten heavily in the midweek. You know, it happens. If you're going to manage, you're going to take a beating now and again. And like it all in management, it's how you respond. How do you now regroup, refocus the players and get them back to making a response? And I think that's vitally important.
And what is the answer to that? How do you refocus them? How do you get them right?
Look, as I said, now is it all the time with what's been said is being said. Now you dust yourself down, have a bit of pride about you, and make sure that you try and turn it round and make up for the performance which last week wasn't acceptable.
How do you think you've done so far with what you've got, with a really tricky set of circumstances?
Listen, we've had a difficult start in terms of who we've played against.
But do you look at it and think, I don't think anyone could have done more? Do you think?
Well, now, you don't want to be beaten 5, that's for sure. But there's been in games where we've been, we were excellent at Tottenham a few weeks ago, and we played well against Leicester in the. With Newcastle, there's always a storm, So, we've just got to keep riding the storm if possible, and get on with it, batten down the hatches, and get on with it, and get a few results.
Why is it the perfect game? Because it's a win changes everything, doesn't it? Beating Man United changes the landscape.
Of course, that gives everybody a bit of confidence. It's an opportunity for us to erase last week, and of course, especially at a club like this one, a win, the mood changes overnight. So let's get ready for Sunday and look forward to the challenge. When Man U come to town is always pretty special. So let's hope we can put up a show and give them something to shout about here.
And go.
And slides in.
That was nearly perfect. Smooth. Nearly perfect. I've got to talk about this big match, Man
Massive
United
game.
versus Newcastle. We spoke at St James's Park, of course. Spoke about who needs this win more. You said beforehand, Dave, you think Newcastle will get something from this?
I really do. I think, particularly as kind of Duke said earlier, like considering they're at home, like I think they at least seem to put like a performance in, and I think this is the perfect time to play Manchester United. And I think if I was Newcastle, I would just go for them, and I would press the ball. I would really take the game to them, see if they can get a nice early goal, and then like the game's theirs basically.
We've spoken about the problems at Tottenham and other clubs, obviously Arsenal defensively, but there's a lot of issues. Man United fans are very, verbal and communicative on social media. There seems to be a lot of issues at Manchester United, Chiefs.
I don't think it's rocket science. If you sell Lukaku and you let Sanchez go and you don't replace them, you're not going to score as many goals as you did with them. I don't think it's that. Mason Greenwood's going to be a fantastic footballer.
Player,
You can't just lob him in. What is he, 17, is he?
Yeah.
Young, isn't he? Like,
Very young.
You can't say you've got to score the goals Lukaku did.
A lot of people say it's not just on the pitch, though. Obviously, it's the ownership. Man United, to be fair to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer here, they've had some great managers. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not a bad manager. They've had Jose Mourinho, Louis van Gaal, David Moyes. A lot of Man United fans saying, well, maybe Ole is or isn't the right man, but it's not. It can't just be the manager's position.
It's definitely not just
four
on
different
him.
managers, can it?
Exactly, it's definitely not just him. Look at the career of Louis van Gaal before he was there as well. Jose Mourinho. Man United's structure just doesn't work well enough. They need to get a technical director, and we've said it for about 2-3 years. Everyone says it, everyone knows it, and yet they continue to not do it. Ed Woodward runs the transfers. They haven't been able to get many players that they've gone for in that period over the line, the likes of Fabregas, Bale, they've gone for on numerous occasions, haven't been able to get these big names. And there just seems like there's been a sort of culture shift away from going from the big sort of European names like the likes of Falcao, Di Maria, Sanchez, came in for big money later in their career to these younger British players. And it will take a while for them to bed in. But some of them have worked out really well. I think Maguire's started pretty well. I think Wan-Bissaka's been excellent. I think Daniel James has been fantastic.
15 million, Daniel James.
I know, awesome.
Great.
And I think defensively they've actually improved a lot this year. It's just going forward. And except for in that West Ham game, I thought they defended very poorly in that. But I think there's hope for Man United fans, but I just improve the structure.
And of course, talking about both teams, we have to talk about Newcastle as well. Again, quite a few issues there. I mean, a lot of Newcastle fans. We had Willany yesterday on Saturday Social. He was very vocal about Mike Ashley. Do you think that the ownership is the biggest issue at Newcastle? Again, the problems are more off the field than on it, would you say?
I definitely agree with that. But then, having said that, they did spend quite a lot of money this summer.
They did, didn't they?
Joe Linton, 40 million, Sam Maximum, 25. But it's all very good doing this, but it was quite late on in the day. 3 years, not enough investment. I think he made a profit in the last 4 years until this summer.
Well, Michael Owen was their record transfer, which Newcastle fans won't want to hear now because obviously they've had the disagreement with Alan Shearer. But he was their record signing for an incredibly long amount of time.
I think they would have done better. Sorry, James. I think they would have done better if they could have spend some of the money they spent on to keep Rafa Benitez. He was the one that just worked miracles season after season.
It's so frustrating that they spent this money after Rafa's gone. Yeah. I've got no connections with Newcastle at all. I'm not a supporter in it, but it angered me so much the fact that they got rid of him and then bought these, like Stan Maximan and Joe Linton are good players. I mean, they would have done well under Rafa.
Would have done better under Rafa.
It infuriated me as someone who's got no connection to it. The owner of their club,
so passionate.
The passion that the Newcastle supporters have got, they deserve more.
Yeah.
I mean, like you just said, like I want to say I need a plan. I'm willing to spend money. No, I'm not going to do that, Rafa. All right, see you later. I'm off to China. Here, there's loads of money. It's like what? There's no brains behind it.
Feel a bit sorry for Steve Bruce because he's come to this situation. He's pissed off the Sunderland fans because
That was a fair.
You are a Sunderland fan.
I'm a Sunderland fan. I actually wasn't that angry that he moved to Newcastle. It was so long ago. He left us in 2013. 6 times is a long time. He's a Geordie. It was actually strange that he managed Sunderland, to be honest, and he did perfectly well with us. I think we finished 10th and 13th for those days. But yeah, I think Steve Bruce is going to get an unfair amount of stick when it really should be directed at the likes of Lee Charnley, Mike Ashley, and Steve Bruce has pretty much got a poison chalice, even despite some spending in the summer. So I think it'll be a long, hard season for Newcastle.
Yeah, let's get a score prediction then. It should be a good game. Dave, you think?
Newcastle 2, Manchester United 1.
Ooh. I think United will still edge it. I'm going to say either a cagey 2-1 or... I'll go 2-1. I'll go 2-1 to United.
Also going to go Man United to win 2-1. I think they'll edge it, but I think both teams will score.
Can you do a Sky Bet thing here?
What would you like, mate?
More than 4 goals.
Really?
You think more than 4 goals?
Yeah.
Great, so an entertaining game live on Sky. Tune in. Well done, Tubes. Doogie?
3-2.
Hopefully it is that entertaining game, but I can actually only see it being 1-0 Man United.
OK, just really bigging it up. Yeah. You go, no, I'm not going to watch it. OK, let's get back to our games. We are moments away from kick-off on all the games. We can just see the players are coming out in the tunnel. Here come the Arsenal players, Dave.
Yes.
Looking pretty confident, pretty happy with the way the first half went. We don't think there's any changes so far, but we'll let you know if there's any changes.
Cheers,
you
buddy.
wouldn't change it, would you?
I wouldn't. Not at the moment. Maybe as time goes on, maybe give Kieran Tierney a bit of a run out if we can get that second goal.
These are the scenes right now at the Emirates. David Luiz with the goal.
Yes.
Doesn't look that happy, does he, considering he scored a goal?
He wants to be at Chelsea.
There he is.
Right.
There's the smile. James, you haven't spoken about David Luiz leaving your beloved Chelsea to join Dave's beloved Arsenal. How did you react? It was a late transfer, that
I
as
was
well,
shocked. I was shocked, but I think what happened is they said to him, "You're not going to be a guaranteed starter," and he's gone. Well, I'm getting a bit older now. I want to play football. I know Unai from PSG. He will play me.
And
I'm going to go there. Frank's gone. Okay, mate. Good luck with it all. Get yourself over there.
Yeah, and these are the scenes at
No
St
hard
Mary's.
feelings at all.
There we go. OK, these are the scenes at St Mary's, of course. Chelsea with that 3-1 lead. And N'Golo Kanté always smiling. One of the nicest men in football. Everyone says, there he is, scored a goal. Chelsea 3-1. And as I say, don't think there's any changes yet at half-time. But if there are, we will keep you updated. Tammy Abraham amongst the goals as well, Tubes. And in the England squad as well.
Yeah, rightfully so. On current form, he can't not be. And Tomori. Do you know what? I didn't think he'd do this as well as he has.
As quickly as he has.
As quickly as he has. I knew he was going to be a good centre-forward for Chelsea. I'm delighted he got his chance. I didn't think he'd be on 8 goals already this season. It's unbelievable.
Interesting talking point at the Etihad, by the way. Zinchenko is out there warming up, and he's been there quite a lot on his own warming up, so this would suggest he's going to come on, you'd think. Man City was the last of our games to kick off, hence what hasn't kicked off yet, second half. Zinchenko coming on, we spoke about him earlier on the show.
I was quite surprised. Well, I said it before, like, it's quite uncharacteristic for Pep to make an actual half-time change. He usually waits a few minutes and gives it 10 and sees if he needs to tinker with things. But as I said, Cancelo seemed to be struggling with the ball delivery on the left. He as the attack was flowing, he would cut back in.
Well done. He's everywhere today, mate.
Yeah, the Arsenal game has kicked off. Southampton, Chelsea imminently, and the players still not out on the pitch, or they just have emerged from the pitch now. At Man City against Wolves, don't forget that it's still 0-0.
Right, we've got a question in from Elastico.
Yes.
Elastico has asked, which team in England has the biggest January transfer window ahead of them? He suggests Spurs.
I was literally about to say Spurs.
Where do you think they should look to strengthen?
I think Spurs could be like well out of the top 4 positions when it comes to January if they carry on with current form. We haven't agreed. So I think their whole business model is reliant on them getting Champions League football. Else that stadium could become a massive hole in the Tottenham.
A hole, literally. They just get rid of it today.
Smithy, where would you stand?
Oh wow!
Well, do you know what? There's a lot of rumours again that Spurs are going to go back in for Dybala with the Eric, because I think Juventus are in for want to sign Eriksen, whether that's a pre-agreement for the summer or not.
Would you get rid?
Well, the issue... See, I don't think Eriksen will actually go in January, because the reason I say that is because he's going to go for nothing in the summer. So why would a club pay 30 million for him in January when they're going to buy him for potentially nothing in the summer? I don't think he's going to sign a new contract. That's been well documented. And Juventus love picking up players on a free.
Do you think you could Levy will do a knockdown?
Would have seen by it,
He's probably more important to the team for that half of the season.
Exactly.
30,
I think right back is an area we have to strengthen.
Oh, yeah, 100%,
definitely right back. I also think we need to look at the fact that Jan and Toby are, towards the end of their contracts and age-wise towards the end of their careers. We need to look at that going forward.
Have you got any youngsters coming through?
Well, I've got Davinson Sanchez, who did have quite a bit of game time. One Foyt has had a very good summer, actually.
Oliver Skip's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Any Tomoris on the way up, or like from the Spurs youth system?
How I'd answer that is, I'd say I don't think there's anyone that we would start ahead of Jan or Toby if everyone's fit. But I think Davinson Sanchez will comfortably become a regular for Tottenham. And he played a lot of game time last season. Don't forget, Spurs actually played originally as a back three with all those threes. In the days when we had Walker and Rose bombing on, we had a back three with those three. So I think he will I think he will look to use him, but I definitely think that's an area we need to strengthen with Jan and Toby on their way out. But yeah, I mean, I do think Spurs need to strengthen quite a bit. The issue is that in January it's very hard to buy players.
Get the right players in.
At a premium.
If you don't get top 4, can you see Harry going? And going, do you know what? I want to win stuff in my career. No disrespect to Tottenham.
Do you know what? I've always been fairly confident that Harry Kane is one of the players that's more likely to stay at Spurs. Just
even though you've got no Champions League football.
He loves the club. We are in the Champions League.
No, if you don't.
If we don't, sorry.
Yeah.
The fact that it's his boyhood club, his whole family is Spurs. I've always seen him
Was he actually a boyhood fan? Was he not?
Arsenal fan?
Yeah, was he an Arsenal fan?
He wasn't an Arsenal fan. Let's not talk about
There's a nice photo of 2004.
No, he's Tottenham till he dies.
Yeah,
he's
big
got
time.
a tattoo of
He's
Tottenham.
one of our own.
He loves Tottenham. He's never going to leave Tottenham.
He's one of our own.
Arsenal. Oh, here goes James Wayne.
One of our own.
You all right?
Yeah, all good.
Good.
Yeah.
But sure,
I thought there was a question coming there, so I was prepared.
no, just checking you're okay.
Yeah, I'm fine.
But surely him as a top player, surely he has to be winning trophies. And,
Is it the same for Aubameyang, like we said earlier?
No, I agree. No, it's but
Right back at you. Right then.
That's what I was saying. Like, if we are so far off Champions League football again next season, I can see him maybe going. This is one last chance to maybe potentially go and see if we can win.
Do you know
something.
what? The question about Eriksen is different because I think he in his mind, well, he's come up with statements saying he wants a new challenge. So I think he's a player that it will be very hard to keep hold of. Whereas I think Harry Kane has more of an allegiance to Tottenham. And I think winning the Premier League once with... Oh, here he is. This is Tony, the floor manager, just wandered in. Hello, Tony. Tony's famous for his woohoo. Do you want to give us a woohoo in camera? Woohoo! There we go. Thanks, Tony. Milks it a bit. Chance for Chelsea.
Hudson-Odoi!
Oh!
Good save.
Good save. Hudson-Odoi with the chance. One-on-one. Gunn tips it behind for the corner. Dave, all I was saying, in answer to your question, is I think...
Clear the ball!
Oh, wow. Oh,
Chance
what's he
for
done?
Oh, must score!
Gosh.
Oh, it's all going on.
This is such a great gig.
He should have scored.
Awesome.
Big chance for Hudson-Odoi. Good save that from Gunn. Narrowly wide. Bournemouth should score, but it is cleared. So no goals in the second half as of yet. All I was going to say to answer your question, Dave, is with regards to Harry Kane, because I think he does genuinely love playing for the club, that winning one trophy at Tottenham will mean more to him than if he won 3 at Real Madrid. I stand by that.
Big. I don't think that's true.
It depends.
Because the thing I would say, so 2 other players you'd put in the same break would be like Alan Shearer and a Steven Gerrard. Right?
Exactly. And Alan Shearer actually said exactly that thing.
But at least Alan Shearer had won a Premier League. Steven Gerrard had won the Champions League. He won a couple of FA Cups, blah, blah, blah. Whereas Harry Kane is not even going to win like the League Cup. Well, and he needs to move. He has to win trophies.
Because they're out the League Cup, yeah. But I'm saying if Harry Kane won the Premier League, not likely this season, of course, but Spurs haven't been a million miles in the past. If we were to strengthen, he was to win a Premier League with Tottenham, I think that would mean more to him than if he won a La Liga with Real Madrid.
Oh, well, 100%. But what are the chances of that happening?
Yeah. And
of course, that's not
dig.
but I think that's a big part of your mindset. And a lot of players have alluded to that in their career, that when they're playing for a club they've had an affinity to, that it means a lot more to win a trophy for that club. So,
yeah.
You're going to have to take a lot of patience, though, because Klopp and Guardiola are planning on staying at least another 2-3 years.
That's my point. If
supposedly
Pep comes in and says, right, Aguero's on his last legs now, he's not going to do a full season. Harry, we want you.
I can't see
Gonzini. No, that's right, it's Zinchenko. He's
stranger things have happened.
happening? Harry Kane?
Oh, well, that should be a foul.
I can see that he's going to score a lot of goals from Man City if he goes. I can't see him why Pep wouldn't want him.
Bournemouth, man.
I'll take it.
Yeah, but I know I'd want him. I can't see him going, is what I mean.
It depends on how Tottenham do this season.
It's a big season for Tottenham.
Going back to my original question.
Big season for Tottenham. Arsenal v Bournemouth is a lively second half.
Yes.
Callum Wilson incidentally looking scoring 5 consecutive league games for the first time since March 2014 when he was at Coventry. He scored 3 goals in his 4 Premier League appearances against Arsenal. Loves playing against Arsenal, and he is a 13-2 price boost to score in the match. That was 11-2. Don't forget, you must be 18 plus. It is on your screen right now. Full terms and conditions apply. Dave, let's come to you. Second half's been...
We have not started well.
Not started well for Arsenal
at all.
Elaborate on Arsenal not playing well, please.
I think probably more that Bournemouth have started. But we just needed a half chance to get the confidence back, and I fully expect us to win this game. But we just need to. That's it. Press that.
Dave, can I ask you a question? Do you get more nervous watching Arsenal or England? Because I know that it remembers a football social we did Early days
like
of the World
Heskey.
Cup. And Dave didn't speak for about 15 minutes. Because,
I think that's because the World Cup. Like the World Cup's a whole different beast, isn't it? But
you were sweating, weren't you?
there was a lot of sweat. There was all kinds of stuff going on.
Really?
Yeah.
I would say I'm an Arsenal fan first, then an England fan.
Okay.
I'm here.
Are you an Arsenal fan as well?
No.
Big reveal.
Clip that one up.
Come on, Pepe.
Guys, we've got a question from Daniel
Chance for
Carlton.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
It's all
It's
good.
not fine. It's not like...
Wolves fans be watching
We'll
this.
come back to
We
the
are in this
question.
game.
It's all safe. Right, Daniel
Go on,
Carlson has asked a question. If you could make one realistic addition to your team right now,
Messi.
who would it be? So one dream player that you want in your side. Jacko, should we start with
Can
you?
we make this one that would improve your squad? So I won't say a striker as a Tottenham fan because we've got Harry Kane. So otherwise everyone will say...
Your most
Ronaldo,
needed
Messi.
area and maybe a player that you can get.
Well, if Chelsea do not get Champions League football and may go after Kante, I would absolutely... it still pains me to think that we signed Granit Xhaka for £5 million more than what Chelsea did for...
By the way, I don't know if you
N'Golo
noticed, Tubes, but he's quite opinionated on Granit Xhaka, Dave.
Go on.
I've noticed.
He's not bad, he's just not good.
Great bit of analysis. I
would just love him. I'd like if we could just someone you just had absolute confidence in that he's going to do his job to just
Wayno, who are we sprinkling into your
on before that, the other thing about Conte, as well as all the traits he's got that I picked up on, you know, when he was injured and he came back for his first game, you know, when a player's been out injured, usually their fitness levels they sort of ease their way in. He was the fittest player on the pitch, the first game back.
The guy's a joke.
Unbelievable.
He's so fit. It goes back to the time when he said he was jogging to training, wasn't he?
Yeah.
That's how fit he is.
Do I need a car?
No,
Yeah.
I don't want a car. You have to have a car. I'm like, I just cycle or jog. What's a guy?
So Conte for Dave Jackson at Arsenal. Wayno?
Mine's a pretty obvious one. It'd be some form of centre-back, commanding centre-back, because I think that's what we're there yet. I don't know. I've always liked. I don't know if it's Jimenez or Jimenez from Atletico Madrid.
Oh, Jimenez, yeah.
I've thought he looks fantastic. Has kind of been slowly growing into one of the world's
You're
best.
always linked with Nathan Ake. Do you think he's Manchester?
Not yet, but I mean he's phenomenal. I could easily see him coming into our side and being phenomenal. He's got every attribute that we would want in a player, and if he came to us, I wouldn't be upset.
Why did Chelsea get rid of him, Tubes?
Because the old Chelsea wouldn't give the youngsters a chance. Fact.
Do you think if Frank Lampard was there and Ake was there, he'd still be playing regularly for Chelsea, do you think?
Jody coached him for years, didn't he?
Yeah.
Jody rates him massively.
Wow, what is going on at Arsenal, Dave? It's not a good second half so far.
Mate, no. We have not really come out of the traps at all, and we are allowing Bournemouth far too much on football.
Great ball.
Wow, what?
Having said that, if he'd have conceded from there, it'd have been ridiculous.
Tips over behind for a corner.
It might be time for Lucas Torreira to come on in a minute, I reckon, just to maybe shore out that midfield a little bit. I'll say maybe give it another 5 minutes.
Okay, let's stick with the theme of... You know what the other thing is when we say make it realistic? As a City fan, you could say Lionel Messi. That is realistic. You can literally buy anyone.
Yeah.
I would say at Spurs, the area that we need to... is definitely a right-back. You know, we've got rid of Kyle Walker and Kieran Trippier. And we brought in Serge Aurier, but haven't replaced Trippier. Serge Aurier's been suspended. I mean, we've had games where we haven't played. Against Arsenal, we played Sanchez there. We played Sissoko there yesterday.
Sissoko played yesterday, yeah.
There's so many games where we haven't played a right-back at right-back. I like that. I'd look at Pereira at Leicester.
Yeah.
I think he's a very, very good player.
I'm surprised he didn't go
Very
to a
good
more
player.
traditional...
Leicester's player of the season and fans' player of the season last season. And when you think of the amount of good players Leicester have, I think that's telling. So been a bit inconsistent this season, but he's a player that a lot of Tottenham are looking at. But Pereira would be one for me if you're saying who's realistic.
Yeah,
I think Dybala, we're going to have to... Something big's going to have to happen.
Go on.
And the interesting thing with Dybala is actually his image rights. I don't know if you've read into the case.
That was the problem in the summer, wasn't it?
What's the deal?
His image rights are quite complex. He earns a lot of money through his image rights, and it's owned by different parties effectively. That it's when you're linked with him with 2 days left of the transfer window, it's not a quick thing to sort out if he's moving clubs, moving countries and everything like that. So I think it's quite a complex transfer.
Football of today, eh?
Plus, there's a lot of money involved as well. So I'd say Pereira for a realistic one, but then saying that, Leicester are doing great guns, so why would you want to leave?
Okay. Tubes?
I'm going to... It's been mentioned already. I'd take Nathan Ake back.
Really?
And I say that is because he can play centre-back and he can play left-back. And I think left-back is the place where we are struggling.
Really? Even when Emerson comes back?
Yeah, even when Emerson comes back. No disrespect to Emerson. I think he's a good footballer. I don't think he's going to take us forward, though. I think Nathan Ake would. And then he can play centre-back if we've got an injury.
Well, if anyone's asking, I'd take Kevin Phillips back at Sunderland.
There we go, we haven't asked.
Next one.
Should we talk about Sunderland? I feel like we've all spoken about our clubs.
Well, I
Come on.
doubt most people really care, but we lost 2-0 to Lincoln City yesterday, which was an absolute shocker of a result.
Can I just say, sorry, you can't see it, but Tony, the floor manager, afterwards went, poor.
That's how I feel too, Tony. I know. It's not been a good start to the year. There's lots of pressure on Jack Ross, our manager. There's talk that he might go. But we're so close to going up last year via the playoffs. Just lost to Charlton in the last minute. So it's going to be a difficult season. I hope we'll get in the playoffs again. But we really should be going up with the amount we've spent compared to the rest of the league. It's a bit of an embarrassment. Anyway, back to the Premier League.
Also, I'd love Ben Chilwell.
Yes.
I think he's absolutely brilliant.
I saw him linked with Chelsea and Man City this morning.
Ben Chilwell's class.
I'd love to have Ben Chilwell at Chelsea.
Tillemans and Didi Maddison.
They've got an unbelievable team. Brendan Rodgers has done such a good job. Such a good job.
I think also they were helped that Claude Puel set such a solid base already. Like they knew how to defend really effectively. And Brendan Rodgers seems to have got the most out of Jamie Vardy, whereas Claude Puel seems to struggle to do that. And Leicester have just...
Fuchs said, like, his man management is unbelievable. He's just like one of the boys. We love him. We love him. Yeah.
Gets on their level.
James Ward-Prowse has got a free kick, which worries me.
He's very good at it.
He's very good at free kicks.
We're going to stick with Tubes. Incidentally, still 0-0 in the Man City game. The last time Man City drew 0-0 was a year ago tomorrow. Almost a year to the day against Liverpool. But Tubes, it's a free kick to Southampton. Ward-Prowse is over it.
And he struck it. And it's gone over the bar. Get in there.
Too much, didn't it?
That was that Mahrez penalty miss.
Yeah, that was that Mahrez. We were there, weren't we? We did a show, didn't we?
Football Social show, yeah.
Go.
For a 0-0
me and Kieran were up there for that game. It was difficult to watch.
Yeah, we crossed live to you.
Yeah,
Sean Goat was on the show.
Bottled the question with Gota because Kieran just
I asked James if he had a question with Sean Goat. He was so nervous to speak to him. He couldn't speak to him.
I was like,
Kieran, have a question.
Nothing. We thought we'd given our questions to him for the studio, so when it came to it, we were like, I don't know what's going on right now.
I think he said, I don't have a question, but just tell him I love him.
Yeah.
Is he still... He's still revered, isn't he, as like a legend at Man City, despite the fact that you've had a more successful
there's just
period of play.
Obviously, you've met him. There's just something about him. There's such an aura around him that it's hard not to love. And the fact that we had obviously our history in that era isn't great, but he was one of the shining lights.
Yeah.
I mean, some really, really defining moments, especially in the derbies.
Yeah.
So we kind of legend of a club isn't just how many titles.
Totally agree with
that. Tammy just shot it straight at the keeper.
Sean Go today. They have a day.
Yeah.
In Bermuda. That's much of a legend. He also did a podcast with him, a great story of his last game. It was at Southend, I believe, towards the end of his career when he went down the leagues a bit. I think like 3,000 Man City games travelled down to watch Sean Gota's last game.
Really?
And security had an issue because they had 3 sets of supporters. So they had the 2 teams who were playing and Man City. They didn't know how to segregate them because everyone was just... And it just turned into just a party for Sean Gota.
It's a massive
Sean Gota.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Love it.
Left an absolute massive impact on our club, and ambassador for it.
And he's going to be coming back on the Football Social soon as well.
Oh, feed the goat.
Dave, let's talk about Arsenal because they've got a chance.
Oh, Saka, his movement is so good. He's so technically gifted.
Still not clear, though.
Still on the box.
Tyrone Mings is another player I like at Chelsea. I think he's brilliant.
I think Martinelli's coming on. I see him warming up very aggressively.
Daniel Carlson.
Speaking of substitutions, Bernardo Silva comes on for Man City. Zinchenko is on as well.
Yeah, so we've changed our flanks. We've actually taken Kyle Walker off at half-time for Zinchenko, put Cancelo on the right, and now we're changing Mahrez.
Mahrez off, is it? Yeah.
Mahrez off, straight swap. We need it because we're really not creating as we usually do. It's just whipped balls in and just hope for the best, and it hasn't looked good at all. Very, very scrappy game, this.
I see what Liverpool fans will be watching this thinking, this could be another big 2 points drop for City.
I mean, if we can get a win like they've been getting in their last 2, I'll happily take it.
It's such a surprise as well because you've been averaging close to 4 goals a game.
It's been a great season in terms of front of goal, but Wolves are one of those teams that...
That's 8 points, wouldn't it? It'd be 8 points if you don't get...
Yeah, it's huge gap. Saying that, Liverpool did have that last season.
It was 7 and had the potential to
go
to 10, I think.
Yeah, 7 to go to 10. You are right about Man City going competitions last season, the most of an English top-flight side in any single season. Top Premier League scores last season, 95 goals. Man City scored 3 or more goals in 17 of 38 Premier League games last season. And, of course, this one beat Watford 8-0. Yeah. But the last 2 times we played Watford was 8-0 and 6-0, wasn't it, in the FA Cup?
Yeah.
So it's not an issue scoring goals. Although, didn't you draw to Wolves in a League Cup game last season?
Yeah, we should have lost.
That went 0-0, including extra time, didn't it? Because that went last season, it wasn't straight away pens. So they actually were one of the few teams that stopped you scoring, and they're stopping you scoring again today.
Yeah, it's a similar story, that game, to this one.
Bit of ambition.
I would say Wolves are a bogey team for a lot of the top six. They know how to set themselves up for it and frustrate, especially away from home. And they're just... I mean, if this is their oh God, they're through again. If this is their tactic, they've been performing it really really well, and all credit to them. But it's just extremely frustrating for me to watch.
We have talked about hair transplants on this show today. How good's David Silva's?
Oh yeah.
Oh, traitor with the cause tubes, traitor.
Oh my, it's unbelievable.
I prefer
it does look good.
Best hair transplant
No, Antonio
ever.
Conte, surely. Did you see it before?
Townsend.
Yeah, no, but that's a wig, isn't it?
No, it's not a wig.
I
It's
think
all
that's
real.
a wig. David Silva's the king of hair transplant.
Townsend had a really good one, didn't he?
Townsend did
Yeah,
as
his
well.
was phenomenal.
Yeah.
He had a phenomenal...
His has come back really thick.
Is it a wig?
Yeah, no,
it's transplant.
Transplant.
Really
And David
Can
Beckham's
you
as well. That looks really
comment below
good as well.
who you think's got...
Yeah, let us know in the comment
This
section.
is the important stuff. David Silva, for me, is the king of hair transplant.
We do have a question for James, though.
Oh, God.
From Leonard. Just Leonard. What have you made of Mahrez in the last few weeks? Obviously, really coming to full.
Yeah, he's kind of slowly adapted into the Pep style of play. Obviously, last season was difficult coming into this. It's a very different style of play that we played to Leicester, where he was the main man. And I think it didn't get off to the best start with that penalty miss against Liverpool. I think the Man City fans got on his back. A lot of them were criticising him. A lot of them, until the last few games, still were questioning why he's in the team. And I thought it was a bit unfair. A player like Mahrez is going to come good at some point, and he's just been fantastic individually and with the team as well. We've seen him go from that running down the right-hand side, doing that kind of Robin-esque cutting and just trying to go for the shot, to actually linking the play up extremely well. So obviously it's clicked more, but I'm just loving it at the moment.
Yeah, I think only De Bruyne has created more chances per game than him this year.
Stats.
What a player. I think fair play to him. As you say, difficult start, but seems to have won them over.
Should talk about De Bruyne, actually, do we? Player that isn't playing today as well. I made a prediction at the very start of the season when we were talking about who's going to be the player of the season. I said if Kevin De Bruyne has an injury-free season, I think he will be player of the season, because I just think he's genius. A lot of great players in the Premier League, but I think if he's injury-free, I think he would be the player that would win player of the season.
If he wasn't
Why is he not playing today?
He's injured again.
Is he again?
So this is a big issue that he has, isn't it?
Yeah, if he wasn't injured last season, he would have been player of the season. He is genuinely one of the best players I've ever seen.
The reading of the game is phenomenal.
The delivery of the boy, and I just don't understand. I don't understand how you could be that good at football. I just don't understand it. I absolutely love it, and mate, long continue.
Yeah. But it looks like, again, in this game that you do miss him.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Because we've crossed the ball too many times, and it's just been lumped, where the kind of the low drilled delivery is always on point, and we're vitally, really missing it.
I've got another question in. I'm not on my phone, by the way. I'm not texting. I've got the Jeeps are sending me in questions. I'm not being rude, guys. But Morris50 has asked, City dropping more points, league already over. No. James, you've just talked for quite a while. Tubes, do you reckon this could be, potentially season-defining result if City don't win here?
Oh, come on.
8 points. That means Liverpool have got to lose 2 games.
Yeah, 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Liverpool 24 points, Tubes, from 8 played. Man City 16 from 7 played.
Season defining, no, but very, very, very tough, yes. I can't see Liverpool losing.
Bang!
I can't see them losing all season.
Well, no, they will. Not 2 or 3 games.
I think they've lost 1 in their last 46.
Do you know what I mean?
Still got to play Man City twice, though, crucially.
True. But 1 in 46.
When's? Do you know? I'm stitching you up if you don't know. But when's the first meeting?
The first of November. No, it is in about 3 weeks' time, isn't it? Because we're doing a football social, aren't we? Yeah. So it's very soon.
They're not going to have Laporte back, and I can see the Liverpool's front three absolutely running riot.
Yeah, especially with this.
Yeah, especially how they play today.
Yeah,
100%.
Worrying news for Arsenal. David Luiz is down. Is this a serious injury, Dave? What do you think of this? Unai Emery is animated on the touchline.
Our left back kind of fell onto him, so he's picked up a little knock.
An Arsenal player on an Arsenal player, was it?
Yeah, it was a bit stupid.
What's his name?
Kolasinac.
Yep.
He went down a bit easy and kind of, because he had a bit of a push and he went down, he kind of fell on David Luiz's ankle.
Is he going to be all right to carry on?
Oh, here we go.
Hope so.
Oh, he should have got it back.
Need a goal this time, lads.
Limping. It looks fine. He looks like he's going to be all right to carry on. He's limping a bit. It was down for quite a while.
I think it might be a bit of game management, to be honest. We just need to take the sting out of Bournemouth, because it's just how we play against Watford, where we just can't keep hold of the ball and just seem to go long.
Oh, chance for Southampton.
Tomori.
Tomori again.
Rapid. He's so quick.
I want him starting for England. I don't just want him in the squad.
Yeah?
Alongside Maguire,
Like
definitely. Over Tarkowski, over Gomez. I think he's, honestly, that start of the season, he deserves to start.
I rate Joe Gomez. I think he's...
I do as well, but I just think Tomori deserves to start.
We should talk about the England announcement. Obviously, the announcement was this week. 2 games coming up. This is, of course, the international break starts after this round of fixtures. Big notable omissions for you. Was there a surprise? I think in general, the squad was quite good. I like the fact we're using young players. I love the fact Southgate plays players on form as well.
Yeah.
I think that was a big criticism of the likes of Sven Capello. It's just the golden generation. It's names over form. So I love the fact Southgate does that. But were there any omissions for you? Any Sunderland players that you think?
Not yet. Well, maybe soon. But yeah, I think the big sort of newsworthy one was Dele Alli not being in the squad. But I think that's probably fair enough on the basis that he hasn't played that much this season. He has had a pretty poor last year, but I do think his role slightly changed from when he first came into the Spurs team, and he gets a lot of unfair criticism on that front as well.
Spot
on. Because he was just playing just off Kane, and now he plays in a deeper role, he plays often wide. But yeah, Dele Alli was probably the shock, and I thought maybe Fabian Delph was slightly lucky to get in. Kyle Walker, I kind of like that because we were talking about it off air beforehand, but the strength and depth at right back is ridiculous at the moment. It's like probably our strongest position, maybe following striker. So yeah, there's a lot of good options in there. Wan-Bissaka, Trent, Trippier. You can't really argue with any of those inclusions either.
No.
But Walker, I think his time will come again. I don't think it's not the end of his England career by any stretch.
Big chance for Man City, by the way. Off the woodwork.
Yeah.
First big chance of the game, James. What happened?
Really, really painful to watch, really. David Silva got a free kick on the edge of the box, which he took himself, hit the bar, came out, ping-pong all over the box. About 4 different shots, no one getting any decent contact, bouncing off every other player, and then it got cleared. So it's just a case of the same thing. No real openings, no real clear chances for City, and Wolves just too many men in the box.
Yeah. Substitution was there, Dave, in the Arsenal game?
No.
OK. Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
No, it's chance, wasn't it? The handball.
There have been a few penalty shouts in that game, by the way. The referee's Callum Chambers. Any of them should have been a penalty for you, Dave? You've had a couple of VAR.
No, I think I think the right decision was made, to be honest. But we're not playing well at all. Martinelli did come on, but I think I already talked about that. He's looked quite sharp again, to be honest. So he's got a very bright future. We just need to see this game out, to be honest, and then go into international break where we can get a lot of these players that are not quite fit back fully fit, and then we can really hit the ground running for the.
Oh my God!
Fortunate this season. There's a lot of games that you've grounded out. The Villa game, which we covered.
Villa game, the Newcastle game, the Burnley game.
Newcastle game was by 1 goal. The Burnley game was by 1 goal. You've grounded out a lot of results, which is a good thing, of course.
Yeah. Other than about 35 minutes today, we haven't actually played well this season in the league. In like the Europa League and the Carabao Cup, they've looked very good. So today is just all about the result. We just need to try and get this 3 points and then get our 2 wing backs.
Oh, just look at that replay of that David Silva free kick.
So
keeper no one for Wolves absolutely moved, just planted.
Absolutely planted.
Yeah, I don't think Arsenal have won a league game by over a goal this season. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I thought your performance in midweek against Standard Liège was really impressive, actually. It's so good to see the youngsters really sort of hitting the ground running. I thought Martinelli, coming from the 4th tier of Brazil, is suddenly bossing Europa League games, played well against Nottingham Forest in the Carabao as well. What a player he seems to be.
He really does.
Really exciting.
Strong as well.
Yeah, and Aubameyang on the bench, absolutely loving it. Good to have a bit of competition, especially with Lacazette.
Defensively is the big issue, Dave, for you this season. Conceded 11 goals this season. Only once before have Arsenal conceded more at this stage of a Premier League season. That was 16 in 2011-12. Arsenal players made 14 errors leading to goals in the Premier League since the start of last season, 2 more than any other club. Conceded 3 penalties in the Premier League this season. So that is really an area that you need to address, isn't it?
I think it's more actual midfield. We're allowing opposition midfielders far too much time on the ball, which is creating issues in our defence. it's a lot of the goals we've conceded this season. They've been our mistakes.
Yeah.
It's not like teams have kind of, or there's been like a player score like a worldie.
Yeah.
It's like we have allowed opportunities to kind of happen that we should be sniffing out. So hopefully we can start to address some of them, as I say, during the international break as well.
Yeah, and 51 goals last season, conceded a joint club record high in a Premier League campaign.
Yeah.
So an area
Hudson-Odoi's gone down, it doesn't look good.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, not the Achilles as well. Is he touching his
Just
Achilles?
come back from injury tubes as well.
Please,
Signed a new
please,
long-term
please,
contract.
please
What
be
happened?
all
Didn't
right.
see that.
I didn't really see it, but I think it was a James Ward-Prowse.
Oh!
That looked good.
It was very much accidental, but he has gone over the
I
top.
don't think he's meant that, in fairness to James Ward-Prowse.
I don't think he's meant that, but
it is
it's
a
a red card, right?
strong challenge.
Yeah. I think it's probably yellow card
hoping that
worthy,
he's all right for
but
this.
that looks very painful on his left ankle.
Oh, hang on. I think
The
I think it's not as bad.
No,
I think
I-
he stamped on his foot.
And it didn't
Not
bend
his
either.
ankle, he
I
didn't
think he
bend.
might be
I
all
think
right
he'll be
here.
all right.
I think he's going to be OK.
Guys, we've got a question from Daniel Carlson again.
Go on.
Cheers, Daniel.
Loving it, Daniel, isn't he?
Where do
Can
you
stop
guys
in.
rank Mr. Eddie Howe amongst other Premier League managers?
Very good.
Is he around the top 6 managers in the league? What do you guys reckon?
I wouldn't say top 6 in the league, but you've got to give him credit for what he's done. He's a Premier League manager, no shadow of a doubt. Taken Bournemouth up, left, came back, took him up again.
And established now as well.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
it's you can't discredit anything he's done, but I think considering the quality of managers in the Premier League right now, you can't put him in that top 6. But I could easily say that he can work his way to that.
Could you see, I mean, we talked earlier about one of the top 6 managers potentially losing their job this season at some stage. Do you think Eddie Howe would be ready to step into an Arsenal, a Man United or a Spurs or
I
something
do.
like that?
Yeah. What he's done for Bournemouth is unbelievable.
When he became manager, Tubes, for the first time, of course, because he went to Burnley and came back. First time, December 2008, Bournemouth was second from bottom in League Two and 7 points from safety.
I mean, that is some impressive record. I think he could step into an Arsenal or Man United. Would Man United employ him? I don't think so. I think they'll look for a big name again.
Yeah.
Not saying that he's not a big name, but not big enough for Man United, I don't think. But I think he could definitely do a good job. Definitely.
I always thought he was almost nailed on to replace Wenger because the way that Bournemouth play, they they're one of the few teams that got promoted and had a philosophy of actually trying to play football, whereas other teams like Burnley, who again have done very well, don't get me wrong, but Burnley came up with we're going to make it hard to beat. We're going to play a certain way. Well, Bournemouth straight away, the best compliment I can pay Bournemouth is that every single pre-season, when someone says, who do you think might struggle, which is a question we hate answering, everyone goes, I think Bournemouth might struggle this year. And every season they finish nowhere near the bottom three, like in the top half.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest compliment we can pay them, is that consistently...
They've got a squad. They've got a proper good squad.
Yeah, I think their players as well are getting
He
better
recruits
as well.
well. He recruits really well.
And I think he's a good coach. I mean, look at the improvement of Callum Wilson, Josh King, Ryan Fraser now,
Ryan
David
Fraser's a good
Brooks
player,
last year as well. Hasn't even been able to play so far. Harry Wilson started the season really well.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like, at least in the attacking area, I think they're often a little bit leaky at the back and maybe a little too open at times. But as an attacking coach and as an attacking philosophy, it seems to work very well for the Premier League.
I think he made a mistake getting rid of Tyrone Mings, though.
Yeah.
Because I think he's brilliant.
The worry you'd have with him going to one of these big clubs is the fact that he would lose control in those areas. And I mean, it's very different managing a top 6 club, and you'd hope when he does go there, he has the control that he wants, because the recruitment, every part of his managerial kind of job so far, he's ticked every box.
Yeah, true.
So that would be my only concern if he did move.
Yeah, I hope he does get a chance at some stage, but we'll see. Moosey Boy 08 has asked,
if you're making his name
Moosey,
up, by the way, Doug, this is phenomenal.
who do you think will finish higher, Arsenal, Spurs or Chelsea? We've got the perfect 3 people to ask.
On current form, Chelsea.
I agree. Jacko, are you going to argue with that?
I think Arsenal.
Fair.
I'm saying that is I think we've got 3 very, very important players to come back in, which is Kieran Tierney, Hector Bellerin and Alexandre Lacazette. I think them 3 players improve this team by a massive amount. And so that's why I think
Substitution, was that at Man City?
Yeah, substituting David Silva off, Gabriel Jesus on, absolutely going for it, and I'm not surprised. We need a goal in this game. I wouldn't say we deserve one, but we
James,
need...
can I just ask, because we're obviously covering a lot of the games you're watching, specifically Man City, what has the body language been like from Pep?
Oh, they have actually
Come on!
I think Aguero blocked it.
I mean, is he thinking, you know, he's bringing the attacking players on? Is this for him? We have to win this game.
Of course, every
nervousness from him on the sideline.
Like, with Liverpool playing the way they are, you have to win every game. So we haven't seen much of him on the cameras, but he must be furious. I know even when we're winning games like 2-3-0, he can still be frustrated with how they're playing, and he will be furious because the one thing he hates is all the possession and no actual clear chances being made, and it's just been that for 75 minutes of just
15 minutes of all the games. Don't forget, Man City was the last to kick off, but we're talking minutes in it. 75 minutes on the clock in the Man City versus Wolves games. Get your comments into us as well. Is this a must-win game for Manchester City? Is it huge advantage to Liverpool already in the title race?
If it stays the same and it's 8 points, and then Liverpool beat Man City, that's 11 points. I think that's over.
Your maths was better then than it was half an hour ago.
I'm trying to work out the 13 to 5. But, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's massive.
If Liverpool beat Man City and it's 11 points, I think
it was 7 points last season. Worth putting in mind. Liverpool had a 7-point margin over Man City, and that was a massive game in January, wasn't it? January the 3rd, I think it was. 2-1.
11 points. I know it's early in the season, but that could be. That
was when Bernardo Silva had that awesome game.
We ran
all 15 kilometres, created everything, like was tackling, intercepting, everything. He was all over the place. He was class in that game. We've had another question from. Is he ready for a move next summer to? I was about to say a top 6 club, but Leicester could well be one. James, would you take him at Man City?
I don't think we'd take him at Man City. I mean, he's a player that could get to the quality of Man City easily, but I think like a Man United or
they need
you know, they could have easily, you know, used him this season and definitely need him. He was a fan. You know, was it 100 chances he created last season?
Created more chances than any other player in the Premier League last season.
And like, so I mean, that's not a fluke. You know, it's not like. You know, he scored 20 goals by being extremely lucky or something like that. These are him playing fantastic balls in. And
again yesterday.
He's on a Leicester side that are pushing for the top 6. And he could easily step up to it. Maybe I wouldn't say Man City or Liverpool. Actually,
I've been thinking that he'd be a great fit at Liverpool. Just adding a bit more goals, a bit more assists, like his technical quality, he'd be perfect.
I think Man United would come in for him. I think
they need him the most. They definitely need him the most.
But would you,
at the moment, would you leave?
No, you wouldn't.
Would you go to?
If you're at Leicester, you don't leave United.
Like Harry Maguire.
Harry Maguire did, didn't he?
I'm like, I thought at the start of the season when he moved, I went, I reckon Leicester will finish above United.
I think some United fans even think that that's a possibility. I know we've had Joe on Football Social. I think he's of the belief that Leicester will finish above Man United.
Yeah, I think they will. And I know Man United's Man United, and you know, probably one of the biggest teams in the world ever. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But at the moment, if you want to progress as a footballer, you want to stay at Leicester with Brendan Rodgers. For me.
Yeah, I think it's
not a bad. Like he doesn't need to move. That's the thing. He's at a good club with a good manager.
At 24.
He's very.
I think he's even younger. I think he's like 22 maybe.
You don't.
In the under
he doesn't need to move. He can have
a
a good 2 years at Leicester and then progress to the point where he is Man City quality.
So much more time.
I think is the most unlucky player of any England player not to have played for England. Bear in mind what he's done for a year. He's been in the squad twice, but he's never been captain for England.
That's a joke.
Now there's still phenomenally talented players like the likes of Abraham, we've said, but I think consider how long he's consistently done it for all of last season.
Yeah, do you know what? That's a great point because Mason Mount's had I love Mason Mount, don't get me wrong, but he's had a good start for Chelsea. He's straight in the England squad.
Yeah,
James Maddison was last year. That is a weird one.
And we actually had this talking point of whether it's an advantage playing for the top 6 clubs because the Maddison Mount is a debate. And
go on.
James Maddison hasn't played a minute for England at senior level yet, and bearing in mind the season that he had,
surely he will next
season that he has.
Surely he has.
I think he would be the most unlucky player of any England player not to have played for England.
You're dead right.
You just feel like I feel really pleased. I don't obviously know him, but you know he was at Aberdeen. I think it was only 2 or 3 years ago. Then another year at Norwich. Like he's really earned his stripes, earned his way up
as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Chance for Wolves.
Full credit to him.
Another chance.
Here we go. Is this it?
Wolverhampton Wanderers take the lead at the Etihad. Adama Traore, James Wayne. It's all gone wrong for Man City.
It's not even Willy Bolly. Yeah, I mean, they deserve it. They've done exactly what they've been doing this whole game, defending really, really tight and pouncing on the counter, and it's finally caught up with us.
Massive. Huge goal in the title race. Adama Traore.
Big goal in the title race.
Wolves' best player so far this season, Adama Traore, by a distance. And looks like you just got caught out completely on the break. What happened, Jimbo? Yeah.
It's just a big ball. I think he sits down. I don't know if it's Otamendi. Probably Otamendi. Absolutely sits down.
Oh,
He
wow.
always
What
goes
a pass,
to
by the way.
ground.
We saw that in the first half.
He always goes
Otamendi
to
going to ground.
It's always his
feet
problem.
here, Tubes.
You don't need to go to ground.
Can we
there.
give some credit to that pass as well?
Yeah.
The weight of that was incredible.
I mean, full credit to Jimenez for the run and
It was
Dylan Fiore, it's a great
coming.
finish, but the defending, abject.
Awful.
Since
Absolutely
promotion,
awful.
Wolverhampton Wanderers have 17 points from 14 games against the big six sides, beat Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal and Man United last season. They also knocked Man United out of the FA Cup. Of course, they drew to Man City last season. They're currently beating Man City. They know how to play against the big boys.
I think the last time we lost them in the league was like 2003. So this is a big one to lose.
People are talking about Man City getting a defender in January. It'd be too late at this rate.
Yeah.
Seriously, they've walked through the defence again.
Liverpool will be licking their
Liverpool
lips.
fans, get involved in the stream. Let us know what you're thinking. Get involved to Doogie. How are people reacting to these goals, Doogie?
They are incredibly exciting. Haroon Nadeem says City are bottlers. Sajid Raja says, what a pity. We've played awfully.
That's very
Foxy Music says, come on, Wolves. Pokerface says, yes, Wolves. So lots of credit to Wolves for that goal. But City falling apart at the back.
I mean, can we just say one thing, though? Man City are bottlers.
Yeah, that is what...
I think that is the most overused phrase in football. It's
Bottlers,
now whenever anyone loses
think we
any
should ban
game,
it,
they're bottling it. It's like...
We're going for this now. We're not messing
Great
about.
last 5 minutes in the City game.
Chris
Wait for the
DeSante
four
said
goals.
Liverpool just won the league. I think you're getting a little ahead of yourself, Chris.
So what's it, 9 points now?
What is it now?
It's the
It's
same.
When the last time Man City lost at home? It must be like years ago.
No,
In the league.
There is currently an 8-point difference
points
now.
now, yeah,
so
yeah.
with this, they'll be on the same points.
Oh my God!
Interestingly, Man City still have a better goal difference because you know that they do tend to...
I thought it was 8.
7-0 or
I thought
8-0.
it was 8 points if they got a draw.
No, because they played.
24
yesterday.
points from 8 played Liverpool. Man City currently 16 points from 7 played, so they will stay on 16.
Where did Chelsea go? 4th, didn't they? If we win this.
Chelsea on 11 points currently with a win. That will take them 14, which will be equal with Crystal Palace, Leicester, 3rd, 4th. Crystal Palace as well got to talk about. Good. Although they lost 4-0 to Spurs. Other than that,
Absolute
it's
Roy the boy.
been a good start to Crystal Palace.
different end of the table, or different side, I should say, to City and Liverpool. But Matthew Baker has said, have we underestimated Sheffield United this season? And just while you guys are having a think about that, I've got to say that I definitely did. I did my predictions on Twitter before the season. I actually put them 20th. How wrong was I? I think Sheffield United, a great side. They really know the way they're playing. Very tough to beat. I think Chris Wilder has done an incredible job since he's taken
Chris
over.
Wilder is the man. And do you know what I love about Chris Wilder? Is he just says what he thinks.
Yeah.
He just goes, no, we're absolutely...
Who was that? Was that Xhaka again? For goodness,
Like
he's
after-
so bad.
Let's talk about Xhaka, Dave. What happened there, mate?
Well, he's supposed to be our midfield anchor, and he's just misjudged
He's
the
your
ball.
captain.
He's atrocious.
He's the captain.
Hang on a minute. You said he was good. He's not good. He's not bad earlier.
What, it's just
You've changed from, like, I don't know about captain.
That is an Arsenal fan's opinion, isn't it?
I just...
Wenger in, Wenger out, in, out, shake it all about. What day is it? Wednesday, he's out.
Emery out.
Oh, my God.
Xhaka out.
I don't know if you can... There's a replay, but it's ridiculous.
Dave, we've got to talk to you actually because Arsenal are under the cosh.
They
Still
are.
1-0. Are you going to grind out another victory? You seem to be. I have to give you credit. You've been grinding out results all season. It looks like you might grind out another result today.
Let's hope we do. It's another game where we haven't played well again, and that's I think, you know, we were talking during the stream, like that's one of the frustrations with Emirates. Like, we're not playing well, but then if you're winning, I don't care.
Yes,
but
exactly.
but like there kind of comes a point, right, where you need to.
Got lucky in a lot of matches
We
so
have,
far.
we really have,
And I think it looks like there's only 5 minutes next. It looks like Arsenal are going to hold on for all 3 points. It should be a big 3 points.
It'll be a massive 3 points, Smithy.
Guys, we've got a question from Xander Koch, who wants to know who's everyone's captain in fantasy football. Mine was Sterling this week, and that has not gone well.
I don't play it.
Yeah, I've not been on it this season.
Jimbo, who's your captain?
I think my regular one I've left is just Aguero, just he's got bad goals. But I'm focusing on our work draft.
On the work
I was
draft,
guilty last
daily
season,
draft.
Doogie, of not paying as much attention as you should of your team, and then
You slip down the
injuries,
table.
you slip down, and it's
If you lose it for a couple of weeks, you lose it all season.
exactly that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yours, Doogie?
Mine was Sterling for this.
Sterling, of course it was.
Sterling. It's normally De Bruyne, but he's obviously injured. But hopefully coming back after the international break, and it looks like City really need him. Yeah, they've.
By the way, he looks at James and he said that. I eyeballed him straight away.
They do.
No,
They do need him.
Yeah.
He's the
Penalty
best player.
appeal, was that a penalty appeal for Man City? No, it's
no,
very
no,
soft,
no,
isn't
no,
it?
no.
Not given, correct decision, we think.
How much do you think this is about Vince and company leaving?
I do think this game has definitely shown that we have Our captain is David Silva, and I don't know how vocal he is on the pitch. I never really see him yelling at other players. It's been passed to Fernandinho now, who I see as a bit more of a captain's role. But when you have a captain like Vincent Kompany, like John Terry, when they leave,
that's what we're talking about Van Dijk earlier, weren't we? He used to organise the whole thing. It just looks like there's the organisation.
And I don't really know what to do in a situation like this. There would be somebody to
calm down, lads.
Maybe not calm down, but even grab him by the scruff of the neck and tell him what to do.
Yeah.
Especially Otamendi, who's so rash, and most of their counter-attacks have come from Otamendi being rash. And I don't know if Fernandinho's grabbed him by the neck, just said, calm down, think about what you're doing before you do it. And we haven't got really any players like that who, on the similar level to Vincent Kompany. So it's definitely given us.
I think leadership skills is massive.
Yeah, totally agree, mate.
John Terry.
Like we were talking about Van Dijk earlier.
Van Dijk.
And it's what you notice. I also noticed in that Champions League campaign, De Ligt, when I went to I love going to a game and watching what happens off the ball, just because it's something
wasn't
always privy to.
Proper
And De Ligt was I think he was 18 at the time. He was just screaming and commanding that line, similar to Van Dijk. And then at the end, when because Ajax won the first leg against Spurs, 1-0. Yeah, he said, right, we're all going over to applaud the away fans. It was something that, as an 18-year-old, you're just thinking, wow.
Did you see his speech on the
the megaphone?
Whatever.
Amazing.
Take the megaphone.
I love this club. Then he went to Juventus, but it was amazing, wasn't it? Amazing.
Yeah, it was absolutely
Interestingly, Dougie, the team news is in for Newcastle against Man United. Huge game for both managers. Newcastle, Man United is live on Sky straight after this. Make sure you check that match out. Dubravka, Yedlin, Shah, Lascelles, Clark, Willems, Almiron, Longstaff, Almiron, Longstaff, Sant Maximum and Joel Linton. Man United, De Gea, Dalot, Tuanzebe, Maguire, Young. Then they play with Fred and McTominay, Pereira, Mata, James in behind Rashford. So it looks like that'd be a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 they're playing, but Rashford starts. What have we made of Rashford, people?
I think this was the year that we were just... Well, we were in the office and we've had long debates about Rashford in the office, and we were this year we were like, this is, I think, his time. He's going to be out and out 9, like he was at the back end of last year. And this was his time to really kick on. But I wouldn't want to play in that United side in front of that midfield of Pereira, Matic and McTominay week in, week out, to be totally honest.
Chance control! Another goal, Tubes!
The Batman! Come on, Chelsea.
What a goal!
Yes!
Michy Batshuayi with the ball in the back of the net. It is Chelsea 4-1 up at St Mary's.
I love Chelsea.
Nice little handshake between them as well.
It's brilliant. I absolutely love it. We're playing some great football. Super fun.
Here's a replay,
Jody Morris. Look at that. Pulisic through to Batshuayi.
Great beat from him.
And a great finish. Left peg through the legs. See you later. 4-1. Thanks for coming. We'll see you.
I love these feet here. Ooh.
So we're into the 88th minute. Just a reminder of the scores. It's Southampton 1, Chelsea 4. Danny Ings for Southampton.
Great result.
Goals from Tammy Abraham, Mason Mount and Golo Conte. And now Michy Batshuayi on the score sheet for Chelsea. Arsenal 1-0 against Bournemouth. David Luiz off just 9 minutes. And it is Man City 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. Adama Traore in the 80th minute. We have got 2 minutes left on all of our games. Do not forget the Man City game was the last to kick off. Are we seeing some Man City fans leaving early in this game?
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
1-0.
I hate when fans leaving early.
Speaking of, there's a lot of Southampton fans, but you can sort of understand that 4-1.
But there's still a goal to be had in this. There's
Chance for
3
Bournemouth.
minutes. You can still get on. We've been attacking.
But big chance for Bournemouth. Dave Jackson, I said it. I think you are going to cling on for this 1-0.
This is the same. The whole season.
Go on.
It's our midfield.
But you're going to cling on again.
It's like we can't grab hold of a game.
3 points is 3
keep holding
points.
Yeah, let's hope so. Still a long way to go.
You'll definitely win this football match, though.
Lads, we've got a question in from Backpack Barry.
Oh, yeah.
He wants to know what has surprised you, whose performances have surprised you the most this year.
like
So obviously,
that.
De Bruyne, you knew how good he was. You knew Mahrez would maybe come good. Tubes, what's been your biggest surprise, maybe from a Chelsea team or Chelsea player?
At Chelsea,
Yes.
I would like to say Chelsea as a collective.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't pick
Why
out
pick
one
one?
player. Tamori, Mason Mount. Yeah, they're playing Championship football last year. No disrespect to the Championship, but it's not the Premier League. They've all, they both scored again today. Mason Mount and Tammy Abraham. He's already on 8 goals. Mason Mount's in the England team. Tamori's in the England team. Chelsea as a whole surprised me because I thought it would take a while to get to the level that we are. I love it.
Jacko, what surprised you the most?
I think Guendouzi's getting better and better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably just say Guendouzi just looks like he's a top player.
Yeah,
I think he's only getting better and better. And then until that Real Madrid sign him in a couple of seasons, but that is what it is, right?
Chance for Arsenal. Oh, cleared. Right, let's focus on the Man City game. Big story unfolding at the Etihad. It is Man City 0, Wolves 1. Half chance it was cleared from City. They've got all of the ball now. James Wayne badly need a goal. Let's stick with you for this attack.
Genuinely think nothing. Like, this game, you can get one attack in the City game and repeat it for the whole 90 minutes.
Yeah, they've been really poor today.
It's been exactly the same every single attack. And
Look how long Rui Patricio held that ball off.
They don't have a plan B in this game right now. It's always just been get the ball out wide, get a crossing. But like the back three for Wolves are just bigger, stronger, and have won every.
Have they deserved this win, Wolves?
Oh yeah, 100%.
If it stays like this,
if it stays like this, I'd be extremely happy if we can nick a goal here right now because, I mean, we haven't attacked with the usual flair that we have, with the usual ferocity that we have. But it's just. Yeah, it's frustrating to watch because I have basically watched the same attack over and over again for 90 minutes. Here
the ball
whipped in, and we just hope for the best.
Last chance for City. It's behind for a corner. Big chance for Man City.
You and Kieran were talking in midweek that you did struggle to get going against Dinamo Zagreb as well in the Champions League.
Yeah, that was
Do you
a bit
think
different.
that
Was a bit different. That was more the case of we had big chances that we fluffed.
Right.
And that's a rarity. This is purely.
Good ball whipped in. That was a good ball, to be fair.
Our crosses
headed wide.
He's in the post.
Chance for Arsenal, Dave. What happens?
Aubameyang, decent ball in from Lucas Torreira. Aubameyang's managed to get his left boot on it, and he's just hit the post. If they would have scored, and now Bournemouth are on the attack. Oh dear.
We're in the 90th minute in that game.
Well done, David Luiz.
Great
Fantastic
tackle
player, man. He's such a good player.
That's a tackle. That is a fantastic tackle from David Luiz. Scissor kicked.
Jacko, Den's 292. He's back. He wants to know who should be dropped from the current Arsenal side.
Dropped. I would have a three-man midfield of Torreira, Ceballos, and Guendouzi. So there you say, Xhaka. I think our right and left back will be dropped once everyone gets fit.
Yeah.
I think when Lacazette gets fit, I reckon
Chelsea
maybe Pepe.
finished 4-1. What a performance.
If the match stays like this, by the way, at the Etihad, it's still playing. It'll be the first time that Man City have lost without scoring since March 2016.
Pep out.
At home, against Man United. And the full-time whistle has gone. We can bring in the scenes from St Mary's. Good day at the office for Chelsea, for Tubes' Chelsea. Tubes' beloved Chelsea. He isn't the manager, of course. It is 4-1. Batshuayi on the score. Chance for Man City, it's gone wide. It's all action. The other two games are still going on. Man City is still losing, and there's a chance for Bournemouth whipped in. Surely that's the last chance of the game. It looks like Arsenal are going to cling on.
Come on, it's Aguero in that.
Come on, let's get some late drama.
Same Connor Cody.
Come on.
Here we go.
He's on
Martinelli. Aubameyang.
Yeah.
Just stride.
Chance for Arsenal now, straight down the other end. Aubameyang.
Oh, that's poor.
It's over the corner.
Get him
Free
out.
kick to Bournemouth. Surely we're minutes away. We're in the 93rd minute.
How long was it?
Not
And
slowing it
last
down
minute
yet.
of injury time, Dave.
4 minutes.
Yes! That is the full-time whistle.
That is a massive.
On again.
That is a
It
massive,
is finished.
massive,
Arsenal
massive
1,
3 points.
Bournemouth 0. David Luiz on the score sheet for 9 after 9 minutes.
Massive. That is a tremendous 3 points.
You can see the players are embracing David Luiz smile. Arsenal know they've got away with one.
Chance for
Wolves!
Here we go.
Chance for Wolves!
Looking.
2-0 up against Manchester City.
Adama at the double.
It's a carbon copy of the first goal, James Wayne.
just love to see-
Adama Traore again, 1-on-1.
I'm not coming back on this shit.
What has gone wrong at Man
As I
City?
said, it was a carbon copy of we've had
It was
exactly the same attacks.
identical.
They've had exactly the same attacks. Adama Traore has been moved from a wing-back position into the central role in the second half.
It's exactly
and
the same.
He's just got 2 goals.
It's just
terrible.
weird.
You
Identical to the
cursed
first
yourself
goal.
when you said Willy Bolly first goal.
I was just trying to
football
be fun.
dancer again.
I was just trying to be fun.
No, he's going that way as well, the way he opens his body up.
Oh, no.
Very good goals. It's incredible how identical these 2 goals are.
We do deserve it, though.
If I was a
We
Wolves
do
fan,
deserve it.
the inconsistency is phenomenal. There's no club more inconsistent.
I've got a mate
The
who's
teams they
gonna
beat
rinse
last
me.
season, the teams they lost to. Then they lost to all of the bottom. At one point, they lost to all of the bottom 3 and beaten the current top 3 at one point in the
What's
season.
strange as well was that obviously Wolves,
Incredible.
they played away in Turkey.
Look at the scenes of Nuno Nuno as well. They're going crazy on the touchline. Pep Guardiola slumps to his chair. Mikel Arteta slumps to his chair. Adama Traore, surely he'll win the man of the match with 2 goals at the Etihad.
Full credit to him as well, because he's been at Barcelona, he's been at Aston Villa. It's taken a while. He wasn't a regular at Wolves last year. He was in and out the side, but started this season really well.
Yeah.
Probably the only Wolves player that's played up to their full potential so far. 2 goals at the Etihad, massive.
Doogie, let's get to the comments as well. Let us know, is this a defining moment in the charge race? Liverpool fans. Man, it's over, Tube says. Give the trophy to Liverpool now, he said.
No, I'm saying the game's
Oh, the game's over. I did think that was a bit strong. These are the full-time scenes. Adama Traore with 2 goals. Absolutely rapid. We know he's one of the quickest players in the Premier League. He showed his pace, showed his finishing as well. It has to be said, that is a part of his game that many pundits have criticised. We know how quick he is, but his final product cannot be questioned today. 2 fantastic goals. Surely the man of the match. Nuno rejoicing with his coaching staff. James Wayne, we have to come to you, though.
Yeah.
Big problems for Man City. I say big problems, not really when you consider other teams, but
it's obvious.
Drops more points.
It's a big problem when you're playing at that level. That good.
The fact that Liverpool...
And look how many empty seats there are.
It's just when Liverpool are performing at their best, ever, and you're slacking in points. It's just one of those things like, we're giving it to them. We should be performing better. We should be taking these chances.
Is this going to be a crisis for Man City?
I wouldn't say a crisis, but it's disappointing considering the level that we've kept for the last 2 years to see this. I'm not going to put too much on it because we have performed so well over these past
I mean, you can't complain as a Man City fan.
Look at these scenes.
That's unbelievable.
Would you want to see Garcia or what's his name, Harwood Bellis come in for Otamendi next game? I thought Otamendi was
something.
I mean,
the fans rejoicing at the Etihad.
That partnership of Otamendi and Fernandinho isn't going to work. And we've got a real crisis. This, if anything, has shown that it's not just like, we've got a little bit of a problem. This is a crisis in centre-back. And I would love to see one of those 2 youngsters come in. If they can give some leadership qualities. Otamendi has been awful today. Absolutely awful. You could really argue they should have won more. Yeah, by more. Because in the first,
I agree.
They had 3 extremely good chances in the first half that they, if Adama Traore was on that, probably would have finished because he's been 2 chances, 2 goals. So
Great scenes at the Etihad. Look, not a single Wolves fan has left the stadium. Look at that away end. Home end is flooded out. They're already on the streets of Manchester, but no Wolves fan has left. Nuno, there he is. Look, punch in the air.
Go on, Nuno.
Celebrate. And the fans are going absolutely crazy. Tubes, you've met and interviewed Nuno. He will be buzzing with that result.
He's very scary.
Most scary man you've met?
Most intense, I think. I mean, Mourinho was fun, but then he was playing around with it. Nuno was just...
No joke, Nuno.
I like the no joke Nuno. I might catch on, but he is...
Let's get that.
But apparently, to be fair to him, apparently he's completely different with the players. Apparently he's a right laugh and great guy.
Jacko, we've got a question from the African Star Traveller. How did the Gunners perform today?
Not great.
Really?
It's been the same pattern the whole of the season. We need to find ways of controlling games, but we're winning.
But overperforming, I would say, more than any Premier League team in terms of the amount of games you've grounded out.
Yeah.
Another victory, and this is what it means.
What does it mean to the table? What does it mean to the table,
So,
you are the boys!
This is the top of the table. What reading that makes for Liverpool fans, it could not be any better. 24 points from 8 played. That is maximum points after 8 played, Tubes, because 8 times 3 is 24 with your maths. Plus 14. Man City, they've still a phenomenal goal difference, plus 18. Arsenal up to 3rd. Leicester 4th, Chelsea 5th. Bournemouth make up the top half of the Premier League.
Crystal Palace are 2 points behind Man City.
That's a really
How has that happened?
Really valid point.
Mental.
It's Tottenham in 9th. Let's have a look at the bottom half of the table. Doesn't make for great reading if you are a Watford fan. Minus 16 goal difference. 3 points from 8, and it is a huge game for Newcastle and Man United. Both teams in the bottom. Man United in 12th. Massive game, not just for Steve Bruce, but also for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Norwich make up the bottom 3. Wow. OK, so, guys, who will be the most happy out of Dave and Tubes? Surely Tubes, I think you win it of the day in terms of performance.
Away from home.
Winner of the day, Tubes.
Yeah, I mean...
Tubes is the winner?
You'd expect Arsenal to beat Bournemouth at home.
Yeah.
Southampton's not an easy place to go, and we've won 4-1 and played brilliantly. So I'll take that.
So Tubes wins it in terms of the fans' enjoyment. Tubes also wins it in terms of the Sky Bet prediction.
Oh, there we go.
seamless link. So, James, volleyed first goal, didn't score, and Man City 4-1. I mean, you couldn't be more wrong there. Dave, Arsenal did win, but said 3-1, didn't happen. Aubameyang, not on the score sheet today.
No.
Quite by his standards, but Arsenal got the job done, that's what matters. I obviously went for Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, let down by Man City. Good bets with Sky Bet. So, those were the outcomes. Congratulations to Tube. Let's go to Social Corner. We have to talk Man City. That is the big story of the day.
Yeah, we do. Rui Newman has asked about 50,000 times. Are Man City still going to finish in the top 2, James?
Yeah.
It's behind.
Imagine Palace being unreal, wouldn't it?
This right now is our, hopefully our worst point in the season. We've got loads of injuries. We're still trying to adjust to those injuries. Once some of the key players come back, I mean, Laporte's injury isn't as bad as we first thought. I think he's coming in around kind of February, not because we thought it'd be the whole season. So that's better that he's actually going to be playing some of the season. And John Stones will come back. So right now it's a really, really bad stage in our season. Like Kevin De Bruyne not being in. So we should be in the top 2. No shadow.
You will 100% be in the top 2.
Yeah. James, what would you rather, winning the Champions League or Premier League? Because I would always imagine a Man City fan would rather win the Champions League because they haven't won it. But a lot of Man City fans, we know the relationship they have with UEFA and things, and they always say it's the Premier League. As a Man City fan, what would you rather win?
I'd rather win the Champions League, but I think it's more impressive winning the Premier League, personally.
Totally agree.
Because it's not just, I mean, I can't do the maths right now, but there's obviously a longer period in the season than there is the Champions League.
It's 13 games in the Champions League.
13 games, you're playing a lot less, and you can have a team that are set up for cup competitions better than league competitions, and the fact that we are winning other trophies as well as the league, I just think is phenomenal. But if I was to win just to complete the set, obviously I'd say the Champions League because it's the stick that we're getting beaten with at the minute. But I do think the Premier League's more impressive to win.
It is the big story of the day, Man City losing to Wolves. Guys, we've got to get your prediction now. Then right now, if I'm pressing you over who you think will win the league, who are you going for, Doogie?
It does feel like this is Liverpool's... This is the year that Liverpool should do it and could do it, more so than last year. I think they're playing better than they were last year, at least going forward. But I'm still going to go Man City.
And what did you say at the start of the season? You said Man City
I said Man City at the start of the season. I still think when Laporte comes back in January, they've got Sane to come back in February. If they're within 5 to 8 points, I can see Man City still doing it. They always finish exceptionally well. They won that amazing run last year. I wouldn't back them to do it again, personally.
James,
it's got to be within that distance.
Who did you say at the start as well, and who do you think now to win the league?
I didn't say anyone at the start.
Okay.
I wasn't asked the question.
Clever way around that.
But I'd say Liverpool now.
Liverpool now?
Yeah. I mean, now it's 8 points. They haven't got Laporte coming back until February. I think January, a transfer window is obviously in January. And there's do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's November and December to play. And that Christmas period, I think in that Christmas period it could be over. Because there's so many games come thick and fast. And if Man City don't pick up in defence, I think Liverpool win it.
I also think this is Liverpool's year, James. I think Liverpool are going to win the Premier League this season.
The beginning, and the season's only really just started, so it'd be silly of me to change my mind. I still think we can. I mean, you're
a bit worried.
Of course, I'm worried, but the fact that we've got this squad and we've got some injuries in, we should be able to cope with it. We should be able to push on. This should be a lesson, but I don't think it's out of our reach. It wasn't before, and we could easily still pull it back.
Dave, what are you saying?
I said Liverpool beginning of the season, and I think Liverpool will. I think what is worth saying is it's the first time under Pep. Like, well, I think teams were until you sort out defence and some of the players come back. Teams were actually quite actually like fancy playing against Man City. The first time I can remember in about
you think teams go to the Etihad now or go play Man City and say we can get something now?
If you look at those chances,
so many
that Wolves had, that all came from the same sort of passing movement. So they've obviously planned.
Quick counter. It's interesting that Adama Traore is a big part of that, and he's their quickest players. They've obviously identified that to hit them with pace and a lot of counter-attacking football, which Wolves do so well. And you have to look at that.
It could have been more as well, because Traore missed that one-on-one in the first half.
There was at least 3 chances in the first half. They should have scored at least one.
And it was all the same. All came the same way.
And it was mistakes a lot of the time. Part of the second half was purely their counter-attack, but the first half, there was... I mean, Otamendi, I think, for the second chance that Jimenez had, he didn't know where to go. He was turning back, forth.
On the floor as well.
fix that before it gets any worse.
Yeah. Any other questions just quickly before?
Linda Bahardi has said Pep out, Wenger in. Come off it, Linda, come on. Frequency says Man City are a joke of a team.
Oh, go away, go
This is too much, but Daniel Carson does have an interesting one about the next game, which is coming up on Sky Sports. He says, why does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer keep on playing Andreas Pereira in midfield? What do you guys think about that?
I'm not too sure, really. He must see something in him in training that leads him to believe that he's worth starting for Manchester United. Obviously, they're in a transitional period now. They're still trying to figure out what's going on because, as we've said, they've got rid of Lukaku, got rid of Sanchez. The squad has changed, and I don't quite know what's going on over there. It's all a bit of a mess. And I think Andres Pereira, he's a good player. I don't think I think he went on, was it Sociedad he went to a few years ago, and he played well there, but he doesn't seem to be clicking at Manchester United, and nobody really does. But I wouldn't say he's a terrible person to have in that team, but I don't think he's quite like Manchester United quality.
Who have they got to come in that's better?
The thing, isn't it?
They still got Matt.
I think some people are calling for Angel Gomez and Chong to come in as well, but it's a pretty thin squad, isn't it?
He's a more experienced player, so that would be the logical step to have a more experienced player in, but...
Yeah, they just sold too many, players that could contribute, and they played 60 games last year. If they play anywhere close to this, like injuries pick up. I'm really worried for United.
I actually love it.
Yeah. You said that a lot, haven't you?
I hate Man United.
OK. Big story of the day, of course, though. Sorry to go back to it, James.
Right,
was Wolves beating Man City? We can hear now from Wolves skipper Conor Cody.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It really is. But we come here with belief. We really did. We've had 2 good results. We had a fantastic result on Thursday night. But this just tops a lot, I think. I think with how good Manchester City are, how they move it, we were organised, we were in shape, and we countered at pace. It was the quality was fantastic, and I thought we deserved the win. I really did.
Always smiling, lovely guy, kind of guy that we both know quite well, Tubes. He's on Soccer Emirates this week as well. What's the time to get him on?
Yeah, unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
I spoke to him yesterday. He said, "Yeah, we're coming on." And I thought we were going to talk about a tough game at Man City, and now we're going to talk about
Is he bringing no joke Nuno as well? Or?
No. Nuno's staying well away.
It's interesting saying how much that means to him. Wolves have had some massive wins, haven't they? The last season and this. And that. Do you think, as a neutral, that's their biggest result, do you think? Because it was at Etihad. They've beaten Man United, they've beaten Spurs, they've beaten Chelsea.
They're beating the Premier League champions away from home.
That's got to be the biggest, right?
I mean, that was the first time, bar Norwich, that I've seen Man City look even remotely vulnerable this year. I thought they absolutely battered Spurs when you got that 2-2 draw, and I thought the Spurs were incredibly lucky to get that. But Wolves, that honestly could have been 5. And it would have been completely fair enough. I mean, I was facing the other way, so I didn't quite see how many chances you guys got, but it didn't seem like a lot.
Did you have many chances?
It was, as I said, it was the same attack over and over again.
Ball floated in, wasn't it?
We dominated the ball, but we did the same thing every time. And we brought on Zinchenko, took off Kyle Walker, which I thought was a bit strange. But we put Cancelo on the right, because the quality of crosses, I guess, wanted to be better. But they weren't. It was just the same thing every time, and it was extremely frustrating to watch.
Who are you putting the crosses in for, though? You've got no right.
They had three extremely tall centre-backs who were great in the air and absolutely dominated us. And there was no, let's go. I don't think I saw a single attack through the middle. A single attack. Well, I could be wrong, but not to my knowledge anyway.
That's a strange day at the office, isn't it?
OK, so great day for Arsenal, good day for Chelsea, not a great day for James Wayne and Manchester City. Congratulations to Wolves. Massive win for Wolverhampton Wanderers at the Etihad. Let's just have confirmation of the big match live on Sky Sports straight after us. There it is, Newcastle against Man United. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer against Steve Bruce live right now. Let's head over to Sky Sports Premier League for that Super Sunday. Enjoy today's show, guys. Big thanks to Doogie for coming on, for Tube, Dave Jackson and James Wayne. Thanks for joining us. We will leave you with our best bits. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Go! Down in the weeds! Pay him back that 8 million. What a bargain he was. What an absolute bargain.
Who will win the Golden Boot? Do you think it could be Tammy?
Oh, what a ball.
Tammy can win the Golden Boot!
Yeah! Tony, the floor manager, just wandered in. Hello, Tony. Tony's famous for his woohoo. He's going to give us a woohoo in camera. Woohoo! Thank you, Dave. Great analysis. What's happening?
Make some mount. Yeah!
Don't understand how you could be that good at football. Like, I just don't understand it.
Can you describe this goal in detail for me, please, my friend?
No.
Hello.
Danny Ings scored.
Wolverhampton Wanderers Spurs take the lead at the Etihad. Adama Traore, James Wayne. It's all gone wrong for Man City.
It's not even Willy Bolly.
Batman! Come on, Chelsea.